Good afternoon. It is 3 o'clock. I'm Joseph Nano, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. We are one day away from the 2025 NFL Draft, where the Tennessee Titans are slated to pick number 1 overall. Titans brass met with the media yesterday and were asked if they know who they are picking in that top spot.
Yeah, no, we've come to a consensus. The entire organization is to stay at that pick, and I guess you'll find out Thursday night who we pick.
In NFL news today, the Detroit Lions and Chargers are set to battle in the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame game on Thursday, July 31st. And then in Tennessee basketball news, Tennessee will hold a Zoom meeting with five-star guard Darius Adams in the coming days, according to Mike Wilson of the Knox News Sentinel. Adams is the number 23 prospect in the 247 Sports Composite and decommitted from UConn earlier last week after he initially committed to UConn on September 30th. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Channel 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. NFL Draft Eve. We've got you covered. Mike Detillier is going to hop on, right now. Babs is here. Slay is here.
What up, dude?
Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph. Mike Detillier joins us now, NFL Draft expert. Does sports talk in New Orleans on WWL, the world-famous WWL radio. Mike, what's up? How are you, man?
I'm doing just fine, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Starting it off with a bang with Detillier today. I like it.
How about that, Dawn? How about that?
So I know you still dive in, obviously, with the draft, and you help others, and you're an expert in all these things. How much is it easier now without the M&D draft report? Because you did that forever, and I know it's a lot of work. But so how have the last couple of years been for you?
Well, I did it for 37 years, and so that was a good ride for me. And so now I do everything but go to print with it. But I still go through the exact same deal, the exact same things that I don't have to edit. Things I write about a player, which I had to do because the draft report would have been like 1,800 pages instead of 180. And so I still go through everything as I did before. It's just that I don't print it and publish it. And so, I work with a lot of other people involved. So it's sort of the same thing, other than I don't have to deal with a printer and I don't have to deal with mailings.
I love it. Mike Detillier with us. All right, let's start with Cam Ward, the obvious pick for the Titans tomorrow. What do you think about him? What do you see in him? What do you hear about him?
I saw Cam Ward when he was at Incarnate Word. I'm on the sidelines because they played Nicholls State, which is about 15 minutes from my home here on the Bayou. And he's got a relative of his that comes walk over, and he was like, "Mr. Detillier," and I was like, "Well, you might be looking for my dad. I don't know about that." And he started, "I listen to you every day on WWL." Okay, thank you. And he said, "But man," he said, I got a nephew that's starting quarterback at Incarnate Word. First time I met Cam was that particular day, and so the next year when they played, and man, he was really good. He was something. I told Tim Rebo, who was then the head coach at Nicholls State, "You ain't ever got to worry about playing that cat again." He's going somewhere else. You don't ever have to worry about that. And then I got to spend some time with him when he came to Manning Passing Academy. When, he was at Washington State, and he came close to coming out early last year. He really did. I think that was a lot of thought process with him and his family, and they went through the channels of getting as much information. And I think he made certainly the right decision. He'd have been most likely a third-round pick a year ago. He's top pick in the draft. That's a pretty smart choice. And I know NIL, I know Miami paid pretty well. for him to go there. And he got coached last year at Miami of Florida by Coach O's son, who's the quarterback coach at Miami of Florida.
That's right. I forgot
That's
about
incredible.
that.
How about that, Dawn? So he's, one of his sons is coached the quarterbacks, the other one's coached the receivers. And so
That's
right
why I saw Coach O in the airport coming home from that game.
bingo.
Oh, now it all makes sense.
From the Syracuse game?
Yeah.
And so he was like, hey, T-boy, that guy can play. I was like, hey, no kidding. And so we had a long talk about him, but, you watch him play, and he's a guy that they need a little bit of work with him mechanically, because he's what I would put down as an arm thrower. Very few times you see him set up, use his feet, and then cock back and throw it. He's just a cock back and throw it. I mean, there's nothing but arm talent. But he is fearless out on the field to put a ball between arms and hands. He's accurate. He's got really good mobility skills. He's a born leader. You can tell he has got that element in him. And he's very confident in himself. And you listen, when you're the quarterback, and I work with one, so I can tell you, they're all athletically arrogant. And you have to have that element in you to play the position today. You got to be thick-skinned about it. And I think he's a really good pick for the Titans. I think he's the perfect fit for what they're going to do. Now, here comes the other part for me, and I'm a big believer in that. If you're going to spend an early round pick on a quarterback and, one of the top picks, you better surround him. You better get him protection, and you better get him some tools in the box that can help him out. If it's at, wide receiver or tight end or running back, whatever, you just can't rely on him. Look at what the Chiefs have done. And if it's to go out to get veteran free agents, or it's to draft early for a wide receiver, they're trying to surround Patrick Mahomes because you got something special. So when you got a player like Cam Ward, I think the key is what you have. And I do think the Titans got some interesting offers for him, but I think they've made that decision. That's where they're going to go. Now the second part comes into play, to work a little bit on his mechanics, and I'm talking about from the waist down mechanically, and also get some other pieces around him. And you certainly have that opportunity very early in round two.
Well, Mike, when you look at it, when you're talking about round two, who is one of those guys if you had to pick from? Trey Harris, Luther Burden, or anybody else that we may not be thinking of right now that you would say, you know what, this might be somebody good to pair with a guy like Cam Ward?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Luther Burden, I don't know what he did.
Right? I'm right with you.
on the draft boards,
Yeah.
But all I can tell you is everybody that has played against him, they know how good he is. And, man, he's one of these guys that can take a 5-yard play and go 55 with it. So he certainly would be a player that I would keep in mind if he gets to that point. I'm going to throw you another one out because I saw him play for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Mason Taylor, tight end from LSU. He got recruited to LSU I bring up Coach O again because I didn't know a lot about him. I knew he was Jason Taylor's son, but I didn't know a lot about him. And we were talking about something else. I asked him about Mason, and he was like, well, man, he's tall, he's athletic, he can catch the ball. And he said, man, he's something after the catch. I said, can he block? And he gave me a long pause. He said, well, we'll see about that, but he does know how to get in the way. When you watch LSU play the last couple of years, everybody talks about, the receiving core, and Malik is a tremendous football player, and so is Brian Thomas Jr. Mason Taylor kind of gets lost in the mix. Mm-hmm. And I always believe that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend. And when you look at the success of Patrick Mahomes and how much he relies on Travis Kelce, I do know who your general manager, where he was last at. So Luther Burden third, to me, Mason Taylor would certainly come into the mix there. And if you're looking for an edge guy, and I think he sits kind of right on the edge of a late first, early second, is Ezra Zakul from Boston College, Donovan. And he is such an interesting player for me because highly productive. You saw teams doing a lot of things to try to eliminate Ezra from getting to the quarterback. And he's got a nice set of moves, counter moves, smart guy, and physically he's going to get stronger. But, man, he's got that initial burst off the line of scrimmage that is so impressive. So if you want to go defense and want an edge guy, it's that. But I think Luther Burden III, Mason Taylor, those are the guys that you're looking at very, very early in round two. That the crazy thing about this draft class only had 18 first-round pick grades.
18. I was going to ask you that. We always ask you that.
And so from 19 to 45, it's, is centimeters apart with all of them. And that's why I think the intrigue will be late in round one of if a quarterback gets involved there that a team wants to get up to get him, and then you get a fifth-year option. You don't have to pay him. If somebody falls in love with one of the running backs like Travion Henderson, I could see the Commanders do that. Man, they ain't dangerous enough with Jaden Daniels in the backfield, and you get a guy like Travion Henderson to get in there. And I always believe there's a run on big men. I think that happens. And in this draft class, 24 of my top 75 are defensive linemen. This is year 40 for me. That's never happened before. That many defensive linemen, edge and interior people. So it makes offensive line, which is not a real thick area this year, high demand. Because, everybody brings up Saquon Barkley, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He is a unique running back in this league, and he is a tremendous football player. But what really scares you with the Eagles is that offensive defensive line. When you break it all down, a lot of people don't like to admit it, but it goes back to old-fashioned football. That's how you win. You got to have a quarterback, no question. But also, you better win up front, offensive, defensive lines. And that's where, if you're looking for a skilled player like a Burden or a Taylor, that may come into play there to push them to that point where the Titans could use that early second-round pick on either one.
Detillier, when you grade out players and rank them in your, top 75 or whatever, do you pull quarterbacks out of that, or do you keep them in the 1 through ranking?
Oh, that's a good question. I always sort of keep it together, but this is something. I'm going to give him credit because it's Bear that told me this. We started working together about 25 years ago. And he told me, Mike, man, all this stuff these people talk about, all these other positions, come on. And I think it was a throwaway line, but he said, man, quarterbacks trump every position. That has always sort of stuck in my mind, that we all see it, that there's a wide variety of opinions on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And, okay, you're not running for the presidential election trying to win. This isn't the electoral college. You trying to get one team to get you, to convince them that you're the guy. And so that's why you hear all this kind of crazy talk about this quarterback and Jalen Hurts here and Jackson Dart here. And it's all over the board, Shadir Sanders. So you have to include them, but I always don't bump them up because history tells me that they get picked higher than you might think. So you might have a guy ranked, let's say 20th. Last year I had Michael Penix 20th on my list. Look where he got picked.
Yeah.
Was it 8th or 9th on the list?
Yeah.
And so he went 12 picks ahead of that. Bo Nix was 23 for me. And Coach Payton picked him in the teens.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you those things. J.J. McCarthy, for me, was, I think, 16th or 17th, and where he was a top 10 pick. So it does go to show you that theory has sort of stayed in place, but there are always varying factors. Because I think last year the biggest surprise was once you got out of the round one, it took you a long time before Spencer Rattler got selected.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big hole in between all those early round, first round pick quarterbacks and where Rattler gets selected.
All right, so where do you have Cam? Big question.
Cam's fourth on my list.
Okay.
He graded out with Cam Ward graded out with the fourth highest grade for me. Number one on that list was Travis Hunter, because he's the unicorn for me. I've never had a guy that I think walking off of a college campus could start at wide receiver and could start at corner.
Yeah.
And he did it in
league.
college. I mean, give me another one that's done that. He is legit the unicorn. And I always felt Abdul Carter, because in this league you need to have a guy that can rush the quarterback. He was number 2 for me.
Okay.
And Ashton Genty was 3.
Yeah.
Man, I watched him and I'm like, whoa. That guy, and running backs have been devalued across the NFL. I think Saquon's going to help. And this is a year of quantity and quality at the halfback position. But Genty was special, and then it became Cam Ward at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Genty, we're going to talk about this today. It sounds like he may end up in Jacksonville, which means the Titans get to deal with him twice.
No.
So that'll be interesting. I want to go back to a couple of the Ole Miss guys. You mentioned one, and Slay mentioned one. Trey Harris at wide receiver. And what do you think about Jackson Dart?
I saw Trey Harris in high school. He was an option quarterback. You know who his receiver was at Como High School? Malik Neighbors.
Wow.
Okay, they ran the option. And Trey was playing quarterback. So
how do you run the option with those guys?
Dawn, I ain't coaching the high school ranks, but I'll do one thing. Malik Neighbors is going to touch the ball quite a bit. I don't care if he's running it or catching it.
That's true.
And so Trey went through the transition, and one thing with the state of Louisiana, they produce some receivers, and he kind of got caught up in the mix. He ends up at Louisiana Tech. He spends 2 years there. And then I meet up with him, and he tells me, Coach, I'm leaving. I'm going to play somewhere. I won't go somewhere where they throw the ball. And the first team he told me, he said, the Ole Miss is really after me pretty hard. I said, man, you go to Ole Miss, Trey, they're going to throw you the ball. I know Lane Kiffin knows about throwing the ball. And he's not the fastest guy around, okay? But he has got some length to him. He can stretch the field. He can make plays outside of his body zone to make a catch. And being a former quarterback, you got to be able to run with the ball. Okay, well, how he did in high school. And so he's shifty out in space to make a guy miss or two, and then he's out into the open field. I've got him ranked as a second-round pick. Right. And he is a really good football player, real focused young man. His big dream was to play pro football, and now he's getting that opportunity. So I've got him ranked as a second-round pick. Jackson Dart, interesting because we had Slovis, who was the quarterback at USC, come to Manning camp. And, Keaton, and he was like, I finally get my opportunity. I'm going to be the starting quarterback this year. But, boy, we bringing in a guy from Utah, and I remember the recruiting part, with Jackson, because he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Utah, highly recruited, goes to USC, and then Slovis gets hurt, and it opened the door for Dart to come in. He played a lot as a true freshman, but when Lincoln Riley took the job, I knew one thing: they were going to have a lot of people going to Dart. Now, if you'd have asked me at that moment, I knew if Riley's there, so is Caleb Williams. But if you'd have told me that he'd end up at Ole Miss, I'd have bet you a lot of money that wouldn't have happened. But you saw his growth as a player. He is a gunslinger, and he takes chances downfield. But he's gotten much more accurate with his throws. He's a good athlete. The one bad habit he's got, and he's got to break this, is that, and this may be part of the system too, he will pass up a very easy throw, easy completion, 8-10 yards downfield. He tries to go with the home run.
Hero ball. Yep.
And I see it. And so, you know, when you watch the Kentucky game and the Florida game and towards the end against LSU, he was trying to be kind of the hero there and hit the home run shot. And he could have easily taken that 8, 10, 12-yard completion and moved the sticks and gotten it. That, I think, is a little bit ingrained in him. So I'm wondering if that's a part of what Ole Miss wanted him to do. But he cares, and he's a leader. He's a tough guy. And, man, he took some shots at Ole Miss. It's not like they had the 5 blocks of granite, you know, protecting him. Now, man, he got whopped a few times pretty good. But I think he ends up late in round 1. I think he's a trade-back guy for some team that comes in to say, we know in year 1 that he's not going to be the guy for us. But, boy, in year 2, we're going to hand him the baton and tell him, Jackson, run with it.
I love it. Mike Detillier with us, talking NFL draft. Always appreciate your expertise, Mike.
Appreciate that, Mike.
Always love hearing your voice, and the listeners love your accent.
Thank you. I get told that every once in a while. They sometimes it's crazy. I get people say, "Are you from New York?" And I say, "What, New York? Man, what you hearing?" But yet I've heard it so many times it has to be some pickup on the deal. So Coach always say, "Hey, you know, only cool ass from the Bayou people think from New York."
Well, we appreciate you, Mike. It's going to be fun this weekend. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. Y'all take care.
There you go, Mike Detillier.
The best.
Good stuff.
Coach Mac coming up next.
Mac.
How about Loan Pronto? Interest rates have finally come down a little bit, so maybe it's time for you to call Loan Pronto. If you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, if you're looking to refinance out of a higher rate, if you're looking to get cash out to do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make all of that, any of that happen in just a matter of days. Get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity, especially here in the Middle Tennessee area. Average homeowner is cutting monthly bills by $1,000. You want more info? You can start the entire process online, loanpronto.com. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. And it all starts by getting in contact with the experts at all of this. That's Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made.
Whether you're a homeowner creating your dream space or a pro managing multiple projects, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home, where great ideas become stunning spaces. Ferguson Home is designed for the way you want to shop. Explore the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting products online, or experience items firsthand in one of our showrooms. Our experts offer personalized support every step of the way. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Shop top brands like Visual Comfort or find your local showroom at fergusonhome.com.
HL 1045 The Zone, broadcasting live tomorrow from Nissan Stadium in advance of Cam Ward going number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. Coach Mack joins us now on 3HL. Coach, what's up? How are you?
Hey, guys. I had a meeting downtown. I said the meeting's going to have to wait. I got some important people to talk to for a little bit here.
Wow.
I just saw you in the parking lot a little while ago. You're already off running around?
Well, yeah, I had to get my credentials from Rhett and then drive downtown to be able to park for this meeting I've got. But I said I'm not They said, Coach Mack, you ready? I said, no, I've got to talk to some people first.
Well, we appreciate that. Let's jump right into it. Let's get a final look at some of the top guys, Coach Mack, if you don't mind, with your horizontal and vertical draft board that you have worked on with Rhett Bryan. All right, where do we sit with Cam Ward in terms of ability level? What do you see in the player? What will he be in the NFL?
Well, I mean, what he will be is completely up to him and what happens. Now, what he has demonstrated, I mean, this guy has got, when you dig in on him, he's got an arm that is really incredible. He's an extremely quick, whip-like arm thrower. He's accurate when he throws. He's a risk taker. I mean, he's what I call, when I write my reports, a wild horse rider. It reminds me a whole lot of the guy coming out of Texas Tech a few years ago. The fact that, but all the arm angles he can throw with, and plus, I mean, you can just tell now. Look, I've never met these guys, so as I used to all the years that I was coaching, I could dive into exactly who they were as a leader, who they were as a teammate, who they were, because I found all that out because I would meet with them personally. This guy, though, just from observing and watching him conduct himself on the field, I mean, he's got some leadership qualities. The other thing about him is you can tell whether a guy is a pretty fierce competitor, and that's what he is. But look, the quarterback draft and the positional draft, you've heard me say this for years, it's different. But when you put him, as far as you going on, if you're going to put him on a board, the linear and the horizontal board, take all the other positions out of it. I mean, he's the best quarterback in this draft. You need a quarterback, this is the guy you want.
Coach Mack, all right, so after Cam Ward is going off the board to the Titans, just talk me into what I'm missing on I need a corner and I need an edge guy. Like, tell me why I should take Abdul Carter over what's my guy, Travis Hunter. If I'm taking it.
Look, well, let's talk about
because I got to be missing something on Abdul Carter. Everybody's high on him.
Well, this guy, he's the best. He is the best edge rusher in this league. The thing that he's got that lean, that motorcycle bend. He's rubbery. He understands. I mean, he can work inside. He can work outside. Now, the thing to remember about him, I do know this, background-wise on him, he started out, standing up behind the ball. And so the more that he works on the edge and starts really learning the nuances of the edge, that's when he's going to get really dangerous. He reminds me a whole lot of a guy that I, was on a defense with for a lot of years that was just rubbery, that would just find a way to slip through, was relentless to the ball, and he's got a tremendous first step. Okay. His first step is elite. The other thing that he's got chase ability. I mean, he's got track him down ability. He reminds me a lot of Robert Quinn. When Robert Quinn had him there at the Rams, a first-round pick out of North Carolina. That wasn't the biggest guy. Abdul's a little heavier than what Robert was, but that ability, Ron, to bend the edge, that's unique, and especially nowadays with all the things that you are doing, football multiplicity on defense, especially when you are moving guys around and flipping them around, getting the best matchups that you can. I mean, this is a guy that you're going to want in there to rush the passer immediately in a lot of different situations. And as much 11 personnel as you're seeing now on first downs, you can find an open spot to put him in. He's number one on my edge list.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Wait, see, Mike, I'm concerned about the first year or just 1 year.
Have you seen enough of him?
Right. Have you seen enough of him where, Coach Mack, it sounds like you're talking about the potential of what he can even turn into because you've already seen just 1 year of what he did. But then also my concern is the injury and not getting to see him work out all that, too. Is that crazy? Are those crazy concerns?
No, they're not. And they're legitimate concerns. But as I said, for some real clear definition, if I were coaching, I would know all those answers. I don't know the degree of his injury. I know that it has kept him, it's kept him out of the off season workouts. I do know that. I also know that, as I said, he started out behind the ball a little bit. So you are correct in the fact that that's 1 year that you've seen him come off the edge. But when he has been healthy and whole, which I assume he was in the games I was watching, except for the playoff game where he played with one arm and was pretty devastating there. He's got physically what you're looking for as far as that get off on the edge. And guys that possess that naturally, you can develop a lot of other things pass rush wise for them if they've got that innate skill and they've got the ability to be relentless. That's extremely important at that position.
Okay.
Let's hit a couple of quarterbacks. I'm intrigued by Jalen Milroe, obviously invited to the NFL draft. He's going to go, indicating he may go in the first round. A lot of people, I know you don't grade players necessarily, but a lot of people have him more as a second-round type of pick. But what do you see with Jalen Milroe? I know some scouts told Tom Pelissaro that they've never seen a quarterback position player run like him, including Lamar, which I think is unreal. But then you look at his SEC stats, and he's got 5 touchdowns and 10 interceptions last year in SEC games. What do you see in him?
Well, first of all, next time you have Tom on, tell him Coach Mack's seen a couple on the field coaching against him that could run like that. Michael Vick could run like that. All right, Michael Vick, and then Randall Cunningham back in the day could run like that. And the other guy that could run like that people don't really realize was Steve Young. But all that being said, this guy's a tremendous athlete. He is a tremendous lower body athlete. He's instant speed guy. I mean, I think athletically, just if you want to just measure pure athleticism, he's probably the best quarterback. Just athleticism as far as being able to, and he can run away from people. You watch him in the SEC when things break down pretty quick during the progression of throwing the ball. He can run away from people. It's his inaccuracies that's taking him to where he is. I've got him as a second or a third pod guy. I mean, somebody's going to take him and let him soak for a little while and use him in some different packages. But if you could ever get his accuracy, and what that comes with is his lower body, marrying it with his upper body in the throwing mechanics, this guy is a really, really top-tier athlete. He's top-tier.
It feels like we may see him go to a team that already has a really good quarterback, and then they can take a couple of years with him and let him learn and all those things, but also have a package that makes him a very dangerous weapon when he's in the game.
I think you're 100% right, Brent.
Yeah.
And you've seen more of that in the National Football League because quarterbacks now, and you're talking about packaged quarterbacks. The running part of playing quarterback has been magnified as the field has spread out. Does that make sense? As the field has started to spread out because of the open formations, it's mathematics. Count the number of people you've got in the box to defend against the number of blockers you have. If you've got an evasive quarterback, then a lot of that comes into play. I agree 100% with what you're saying. He's not going to be drafted by somebody that's going to depend on him to be the dude from day one. But that path that you've laid out for him, I think is 100% correct.
Good. Well, we appreciate you putting off your meeting to deal with us for a minute. I appreciate
thanks, Coach
that.
Mack.
Guys, I told him this meeting's important, but I've got really important people to talk to, so you have to wait.
Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford. It all goes down tomorrow with the first round. We'll see you out there tomorrow.
Let's go, Mac.
See you guys. See you.
There he is, Coach Mack. All right. More 3HL. We're off and running. More 3HL when we come back. NFL draft heavy, obviously, today. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right, have you guys jumped in on that Zen Sports app? Well, you still can for about another week, and then major upgrade coming for the Zen Sports app. They'll be launching their new state-of-the-art VIP Play app later this month, beginning of next month. So you'll be able to bet on more than 200 sports leagues. You'll be able to parlay nearly every single bet offered And you'll also get to see some special same game parlays featured with many of your favorite sports talk show hosts right here in Tennessee, because Zen Sports is based right here in Tennessee. Head to zensports.com/VIP play to learn more, and you can claim an early welcome bonus offer on VIP play when it launches right here in Tennessee later this month. You can use DAWTN, DAWTN, as your sign up code. Go check it out. Zen Sports app, getting that major upgrade soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. You got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee to bet.
Three HL 1045, the Zone Wednesday edition. Appreciate you being with us. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. Appreciate Mike Detillier hopping on, talking about the NFL draft. We have him on every year from down in New Orleans. What did he say? You're the only Cajun that sounds like he's from New York. That's
Yeah.
Coach O told him that.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw Coach O in the airport.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't realize his sons were on the Miami staff.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I did know that, but I can't remember. I had a concussion that week
And you got hit by a ball.
and got nailed by a ball, yeah.
So Mike Detillier said there are 18 players with first-round grades per his research. 18. And then he said 19 to 45, very close in talent with each player.
And 24 of his top 75 are defensive linemen.
And he said in 40 years of doing it, he's never experienced that before. He said Cam Ward is athletically arrogant, which I thought was interesting.
Athletically arrogant.
Yes.
That is such a Detillier phrase, right?
Yeah, he said he has tremendous arm talent. We're starting to see that with quarterbacks now. I remember when Patrick Mahomes came out, I remember thinking he looks like a shortstop deep in the pocket throwing to first, where it's so much arm instead of spin it. You remember everybody used to talk about spin it? That dude's chucking it, man.
Are there other
And he kind of described Cam Ward in that way, with his arm.
credible comps to people other than we have to keep using Patrick Mahomes and Steve McNair and Michael Parsons and it's got to be be somebody else out there, because honestly, in my opinion, these guys don't compare to these guys even coming out of college. Cam, a little bit, I understand, a little bit.
I always want to know, how are you comparing them? Because, I get, if you say, okay, Cam Ward is similar to Patrick Mahomes in the way that he throws a football.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get there. But Patrick Mahomes may be the greatest quarterback of all time. So, it's tough to compare anyone to him. But if you dial it down to specifically, this is the way he throws a football, I can get behind that.
Or is that what? But at the same time, if that's what you're seeing, hell yeah, continue comparing that. I ain't no question about it.
It's just tough. That's tough.
It's just, hey man, I'm telling you, as a fan watching the game with the Titans, I don't need that build up. I don't need to build up and then drop me off the building. And I know it ain't no net down there or the little police. I mean the little fire.
Oh, in the old movies when they had
the balloon, that. Yeah,
they're all holding the
I know
thing
it
for
ain't
you
down
to
there. I know it's not down there.
Yeah.
So don't take me up that high. Don't do don't. I'm all for I'm telling y'all. I told y'all at the beginning of the week where my hope is going. It's starting to build up. I'm starting around on the elevator, and I'm not the one pressing the floor. I'm not on the elevator pressing the floor. It's somebody else pressing the floor. I don't know who it is. But if I keep hearing these comps, and then that cord is cut at the top of the elevator, and we just going on a free fall. I did that at they got that ride at Disneyland.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, in California.
Yeah, California. Yeah, California Adventure. Yeah. And, they take you all the way up. Darn, I forgot the name. It's the old school movie where they play the old school music. It's not an old school movie. It's a new movie, but they play the old school music in it. Gru is in the movie. Gru.
Oh.
Golly, I can't think.
Despicable Me.
No, that is a Gru.
Yeah.
That is a Gru.
Yeah. It was another one that's built like a tree.
Another Gru.
Yeah, golly.
Tree grew.
Yes.
The tree grew.
But I'm going to find out the name, and I'm going to tell y'all. But they take
you just hanging on a
They
string
take you on the elevator all the way up, and they drop you, and each floor, the floor is a different act. But they drop you on a free fall elevator.
Okay.
And it's amazing, 15 people in there. It's nuts.
Okay.
So.
Candy said in the chat, that's a great point, Slate. Who did they used to compare Patrick Mahomes to?
There we go.
Before there was the Mahomes.
Because we definitely not talking about Pat Mahomes now with all the Super Bowl. I know we ain't talking about that guy.
Right. Well, and that Patrick Mahomes, he went 10th, not first. Although Borgonzi told us their plan was to get to 1. So Patrick Mahomes could have gone number 1 overall had they been able to get that deal done.
How funny is this? During his NFL draft process, Patrick Mahomes was frequently compared to Jay Cutler.
Oh, wow.
I was just about to say that. I pulled up.
He wasn't bad coming out. I honestly like Jay Cutler.
I loved Cutler coming out. He was my guy of the 3 quarterbacks that year with Vince Young and Matt Leinart. I was Cutler guy.
And to me, he had the career that I thought he would have.
But Color also had that reckless, like,
Don't give a
right.
He's still like the all-time quarterback in Bears history.
Yes, Babsy. Yeah,
Cutler is.
Yeah,
Because they haven't had any quarterbacks.
right. So they
man,
know. We'll see.
I mean, Marianne, he told us, man, that dude owned the huddle and he would sling it.
It looked like it. Like it. Even when he went back to the sideline, like what we seeing out of what Bab said she saw out of Cam, like no frantic, anything opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah, from what Will.
That's
Levis,
how Jay
what we
was.
saw Will Levis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean,
Just Groot. That's his name, DHB. My bad. Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the name. Good job, DHB. Good job, Chad Candy. Good job. I see y'all. I
That's
knew
not
it.
old school.
are you talking
It's
about
a
the
new. I said it's a new school movie with old school music.
Okay, I just heard old school movie, and I was like, that's not
Yeah,
an
then
old
he
That mean
school
you
changed
wasn't-
it.
that mean
Then
you
he
wasn't
changed
listening. I mean you stopped
He
listening.
changed it.
People are saying Tower of Terror, but that's
It was
That's
but
at
no,
Disney World.
it's at Disney World.
No, so they
That's
switched
fun.
it. They
I love
switched it
that.
for that.
I love
For
that.
the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower.
Gotcha.
They
Oh, I
switched it. They
gotcha.
updated it for that movie.
Towers of Terror. So much
It's
fun.
just like it. It's just, man, you go in there, they act like they pushed the button. That must drop. It feel like you dropping 100 feet.
You could drop like 2 floors, or you could drop like
Bingo.
10.
That's
you
it.
never
And
know.
then that was
They
it.
send you back up, drop you again.
That's the ride I'm
So
on.
that's what you're talking about.
Yes,
That is the
Babsy.
ride
Thank
that you
you.
are on with the quarterback comparison.
Thank you. That's
Tower of Terror.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. A minute.
So right now, Cam Ward comparison to Patrick Mahomes, you're at the top of the tower.
top.
Now you don't know if you're about to go down 2 levels or about to go down 10. Makes sense, Slay. I love your comparisons, especially when I get them.
I know it take a while, y'all, but damn it, we there.
You're giving her applause because she figured out what you were trying to say?
Yes. Listen, I can't. I'm not a one-man show. I need people helping with me.
We need all
I need
three
a
of us in
crowd.
here.
Well,
We need
and
Jeff and everyone.
now that I get it, I'm like, it makes sense.
That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Chris couldn't get it out.
Chris Collinsworth said this about Cam Ward. PFF did their final mock draft, and they have obviously Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans at number 1. This is what Chris Collinsworth said. I do believe that he is a possible star in this league, and they are desperate for a quarterback. Bottom line from PFF's 2025 NFL Draft Guide, appreciating Ward, an unorthodox big game quarterback, requires a leap of faith. He is ultra confident, at times to a fault. His mentality could one day make him an all-pro if his fundamentals don't drop him from the league entirely. So wide range,
Ooh,
according to
that's-
them, on him.
Again, that's drop 2 floors.
That
or
goes
drop
right
20.
along with your...
Yeah.
Like that.
I saw this today, and that your story made me think of this, and so there we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's scary. That's scary. Even though you really probably not even, in all actuality, from the outside looking in, you might not even be dropping.
You just feel like you are?
Feel like it, and that's scary. I don't like that though. These last 2 seasons have scarred me.
Oof, these last 18 seasons.
I'm wearing my jerseys
They've had
tomorrow
some moments.
and
They have
Friday.
had some moments,
They
some
have
fun ones.
some good ones.
You're wearing what?
My jerseys tomorrow and Friday.
Which jersey are you wearing tomorrow?
I'm starting out.
Big Jeff tomorrow?
Yep, I'm going all white
I was
big
thinking-
self.
I was
you gotta
thinking
do
that.
yeah.
Yep, because
Now,
it's day
Friday?
1.
Are we like pulling Burks?
Babsy, I absolutely am. Like, why wouldn't I? If we have an opportunity out there to draft a quarterback number 1, why wouldn't I say the most important thing in this second day would be a receiver? That's what my inner.
Big Jeff would disagree with you.
Oh, I'm having him on day 1 though.
Maybe you should roll with Big Jeff on Thursday and Friday.
Nah, I can't do 2 days. I can wear. You want me to wear the king?
Why? It ain't like you wash them.
I know. I got Kevin Byard. I got to watch the Big Jeff is white.
Oh, okay.
The other ones they don't. They don't need it.
Oh, the jersey's
Yeah,
white.
they need stench.
Okay. When we come back, Jim Wyatt, safely in Green Bay. He had him on yesterday. He was at BNA, headed up to Green Bay. He got with Cam Ward a little bit. So we have some audio from Cam Ward. That's next. 3HL 1045, The Zone.
Ooh, a lot of talk in the chat. What would Mahomes be without Andy Reid? We can chat about that when we come back, too. But first, I want to tell you about Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella Windows and Doors. Not only are they affordable, but they were rated by homeowners as a leading window brand in Nashville based on the sitting survey of leading window brands among homeowners. Also, on top of that, they've got lifetime warranties on all of their products. They're celebrating their 100th birthday. Pella was founded back in 1925. 100 years this company's been around now this year. So you know that it's good stuff. Google reviews, 4.9 with a ton of reviews. Yes, you can trust Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Yes, they're the best. And yes, I'm going to give you a deal. And the deal for April is one of their best yet. Ask for the Dawn deal, 55% off qualifying installations and no interest if paid in full within 12 months. No promo payments due. Plus, you get an additional $250 off of your project. Now's a great time to reach out to Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Schedule your free consultation online. That's PellaNashville.com.
What's happening, y'all? Listen, the car accidents happen. We know that. Big truck accidents happen. We know that as well. But one thing that you may not be up on is the Cairo scammers. You probably wondering, like, what is that, Slay? Well, I got an important message for all the good friends out there that rock with BDIL. That is Bart Durham Injury Law. Some lawyers chase ambulances. Not the ones, no, I'm not talking about the lawyers that are dogs on Paw Patrol or nothing like that. But I'm talking about the ones that are out there that'll do anything to get your attention. Not Blair Durham and his team. That's not what they do. If someone calls you after a wreck, they're breaking the law. That's right. There are lawyers out there breaking the law, and you need to be aware of them. Blair and the team at Bart Durham Injury Law, they don't play those types of games. When you make the call, they answer. They're local, trusted, and ready to fight for you. No gimmicks. Just a team that's on your side from the start. So, if you or someone you love is ever in a wreck, remember Blair's number, 615-242-9000, 615-242-9000. Local, trusted, ready to fight for you.
Good afternoon. It is 4 o'clock. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studio. We are 1 day away from the 2025 NFL Draft, where the Tennessee Titans are slated to pick number 1 overall. Titans brass met with the media yesterday, and Mike Berganzi was asked if he knew who they're picking at the top spot.
Yeah, no, we've come to a consensus. The entire organization is to stay at that pick, and I guess you'll find out Thursday night who we pick.
In NFL news today, the Detroit Lions and Los Angeles Chargers are set to battle in the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame game on Thursday, July 31st. And in Tennessee basketball news, Tennessee is apparently going to hold a Zoom meeting with five-star guard Darius Adams in the coming days, according to Mike Wilson of the Knoxville News Sentinel. Adams is the number 23 prospect in the 247 Sports Composite and decommitted from UConn on April 19th after he was initially committed there on September 30th, following a string of visits to NC State, Tennessee, UConn, and Michigan State. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bring news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Happy Wednesday to you. It is NFL Draft Eve. If you want to watch the show live, you can. 3HL is live and rolling on Zone TV, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
A lot of y'all involved. If you want to get to chatting with the people, you can consume our product that way. And we're all one big happy family. Us,
What up,
you,
though?
everybody. Slay Dog is here. Tower of Terror got us there.
Mm-hmm. I was African. I was answering Evander Man. He said you've been to the Universal Studios, Florida. They got some good rides there. Yeah, but I've been California. I've been doing the California leg of the.
You're not a big roller coaster guy, though, right?
No, I am.
Oh,
absolutely.
you are? Okay.
Yeah. I just ain't. I'm not a big sun heat wise down in Florida to go down there and visit. If it's not winter, I ain't going to Florida. I'd rather go to California because at least you get a breeze. Florida, but that's just hot. I mean,
Are most roller coasters like fitted for someone of your height?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How
Are there
hard
rides
is
that
it?
you cannot ride?
Yep, it's a lot of, and it's getting worse because now the way my hips and my knees, like I used to be able to bend myself up, pretzel style, or kind of bend my legs over to the side.
Like Space Mountain.
Yeah, it's
I don't
hard
want something
now.
lobbing your head off.
It's hard now.
Dude,
It's
Space
very
Mountain
difficult.
is probably scary.
It is. I used to stick my hands up. I don't even do that no more because I'm nervous.
In
I mean,
Space
because
Mountain, you
it's
did?
tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
you
always-
can feel it.
Yep.
They want you to feel that way on that ride. It's probably not
Wide
as-
open. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
I
probably
feel
wide
like I
open.
need to be like that.
Yeah.
The other one
Like
is
Hunt
Indiana
Street.
Jones. I now have to sit. I used to be able to sit with my legs gapped open. Now I got to sit with them to the side because they make my groin hurt. Yeah, so the older you get, dog, you better get all the little rides you can, Zeph. As soon as it's gonna be over.
It's going to be over.
Good news for me is I am not 6'8", so that helps.
Dude, I hate
lot.
it too because I love rides. I love rides.
I wonder why I thought that. Maybe I was thinking of horror movies.
They coming out with a new Final Destination.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's dumb.
You're not a.
What is this, like 10?
Yeah, like it's in. I'm like, come on, y'all. What are we doing? Like, we don't got to do that. We get it. We get it. Like, you know,
We
a string.
we understand.
Yeah, a string of events can lead to something that we cool. We got it. Thank you, Zeph.
But you're not a horror movie guy.
Nah,
But your kid is.
loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don Davenport's here.
What up, Babsy?
What up? Oh, can you do Tron? Have you been to Florida yet with Tron?
I ain't
where
seen
you
Tron.
lay down?
No, but I like those rides.
Yeah.
I used to go to what is it? Six Flags California
The
Adventures.
Superman
like
in
that.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
I
same
like
thing.
that one.
You
I like
could do
them.
that. It's probably better for you, actually.
Laying
But
down.
sometimes your legs might be too long for
I
that.
get
right?
nervous with that.
Yeah.
They got one in California
I
called
mean,
the
your
X2.
legs are just sticking out there.
Yeah,
like
your
that.
feet
You
just
lay
get
down.
lobbed off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, serious.
I've never been able to do it because I'm always with baby Babs. So the boys get to go do Tron and the girls go and meet Cinderella. Yay.
Oh, come on. You like it.
I do.
I tell you what, I tell you a good time to experience it.
You make shirts for it.
Halloween.
Heck yeah, I do.
That's a good time to experience it. When they turn the theme park into
Halloweenish.
yeah. little haunted house, that's pretty dope.
Interesting. Cam Ward going number 1 tomorrow. So we're finally here, and then we'll be able to talk about the Titans' new quarterback. But he is already in Green Bay. Jim Wyatt caught up with him, and he talked with Jim about his relationship with Calvin Ridley.
It's real good, me and Calvin. He has a great personality, good teammate, especially him being from Florida. So we know a lot of the same people, but he's one of the elite route runners in the NFL, I believe. And, if I get a chance to play with him, we're going to make people play.
Where'd you guys meet?
You said what?
Yeah, where'd you guys end up crossing paths?
Just over the phone.
Okay.
Just met on social media over the phone. So I got a chance to, just finally talk to him, FaceTime, and just vibe with him.
What did he tell you about potentially being a teammate?
That he'll love it. Especially, a quarterback who can get him the ball whenever he needs it, who's going to be able to listen to him. And he's also going to have to, take some listening from me. I hold all my players accountable, and I hope they do the same to me.
Wow. So obviously, the clear thing, number 1 there, is that he's not FaceTiming a wide receiver of the Titans if he doesn't know he's going there.
Right?
Um,
I'm like,
the process
if you
early.
had any question,
I mean, we've been telling y'all forever.
this probably should solidify it.
But, he seems more comfortable now.
Who, Cam?
Yeah, he seemed more comfortable there.
I think
I've
that's-
always
I would
read
say
him
like
as,
He's been
Yeah, that's how I
comfortable.
feel.
yeah, comfortable, but I've always kind of, I don't want to say like, I started to say he seems put off a little bit during interview sessions to me. Not there.
Not at all.
Yeah, he seemed like I think one of them too though is him.
He's
him
just
and-
about business. you
Yeah,
know?
and I think at this point now he's embraced it too, and he kind of knows where he's going. So it's like the questions that y'all asking me, like I've been on it. So that's one thing I do like about it though. He started the process early. Once he realized, all right, I'm gonna be a Titan. Let me reach on it. I need to know who Jim is always asking the hard hitting questions, but he ain't asking on this one.
What?
Did you call your wide receiver number 2? Talk about wide receiver 1. You got you don't go out there with 1 wide receiver, 2 running backs, and 4 tight ends. Like you got to have a wide receiver 2. We know who that is.
Colton Dow?
Well, the Titans used
Bryce
to.
Oliver, the undrafted
Bryce
free
Oliver?
agent
The
from
Titans
last year.
used to
No,
run out
people-
there like that. Slay.
You know what? We got a new coach though, a new regime.
So interesting storyline
Great
with
way.
regard to Cam Ward potentially wearing the number 1, and this came up earlier, right? Because Warren Moon's number 1 is retired by the organization. Warren Moon apparently said that he'd be up for a discussion about it,
No.
which is like, then why do you retire the number? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like he's being affable, but anyway. Jim White asked Cam Ward about how he's talked with Warren Moon. Actually,
Just really, I actually didn't really watch his highlights until I would say a couple months ago. But just getting his advice, what he had to go through during his time that he played, being in Houston, and then also what I can look forward to in my time playing. If I get a chance to play, with the organization he played for or somewhere else. And so it's been good catching up with him, talking to him. I'll definitely keep reaching out to him.
What's the best advice he's given you?
Just be myself. Take control of all the situations I can. To just go make plays at the end of the day.
That irritates me a little bit about this generation.
what does?
Like, I hope we get an opportunity to talk to him, and I'm gonna ask him. Like,
I'll go ahead and tell you
not
we will.
watching. Okay, good.
Okay.
So I don't.
At some
I understand watching and growing as who you are, but to not watch the greats before you, that's like when it comes to basketball. Like I'm watching Magic Johnson, I'm watching Bernard King, I'm watching
So
Anthony
why
Mason.
did he
Like,
pop in the tape 2 months ago? Because that's about
Why
why.
would you
But-
have not watched it though? How
But
how
that
could you not
is
seen
this
it?
generation.
No,
That's not a.
That's what
and-
I said. It irritates me.
And I would say, on the other side of that, he took the time to make sure to reach out to a guy like Warren Moon and get his
question.
advice. And I don't know. Do you think Will Levis did that?
No. So this is what I'm saying. Maybe everybody doesn't love all sports or whatever it is, but I remember specifically when they had the retirement they were honoring Jefferson Street Joe. Mm-hmm. And McNabb was there, Warren Moon was there, Richard Dent was there. So I had an opportunity to be in the room with them, and this is a basketball player. I'm sitting there, and I can name you plays, you know what I mean? Like, I remember vividly them playing the game, and then Donovan McNabb was really just getting in the league. So I remember watching them at Syracuse and everything, and I'm like, how would you not know who these people are? Like, why would you not go back and watch? That's just me. I get it. I just said it irritates me.
Yes, I understand.
Like, that's wow to me.
The thing about getting Cam Ward on, the reason why I said that is I can't remember, Babs, can you, the last time we didn't have the first-round pick on the next day? Mm-mm. So I would anticipate
we have
that.
Since I've been here, and I'm coming up on year 8.
And every year is different, and there are different parameters and things like that, but I just sitting here in this chair, I anticipate that happening on Friday. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but
we'll find out.
Make sure you listen. Coming up tomorrow, Rhett Bryan will join us live at Nissan Stadium, the executive producer of Titans Radio in the 3 o'clock hour. Greg Cosell, 420. And we'll wrap up kind of like what we've done with Detillier and Coach Mack today. The big name guys, obviously revisit his take on Cam Ward's tape and go from there. Thomas Dimitrov will join us at 5 o'clock, former NFL general manager, now with Sooner Sports. And at 5:20, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster. That's all coming up tomorrow.
I also went back and listened to Mario Cristobal, Miami's head coach.
Let's talk about that when we come back. You hit us in the break with one of the comments. Mm-hmm. And I found it interesting, and I think it's going to be interesting to people. Actually, let's do that at 4:45 because Todd Furman's coming up at 4:20. We do have one more Cam Ward bit of audio for you, talking about meeting Miss Amy and his potential fit with the Titans.
It's been good. I got a chance to, learn more about them just personally throughout this whole 4 months. And, I'm excited to, hopefully hear my name called first to go to a good organization like that. They have a great owner, great, GM, great assistant GM, great president. And so, the team there, they have a pretty elite team in my opinion. They don't get enough credit on paper for what they really are. And so, if I'm there, I know it'll turn out good.
What was the meeting like with the owner?
Oh, it's real good meeting Miss Amy for the first time, getting a chance to, actually put a face to a name, hear about where she's from, her dad, what they were back in Houston when they had the Oilers. So, it's a good organization.
What do you know about the team and how you think you fit in there?
I think I fit in good. A lot of concepts, passing game-wise, transfers over from Miami when I got a chance to meet with Coach Callahan for the first time. So I think it'd be plug and play.
Plug and play.
Very, seems very at ease.
That's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. Definitely comfortable in his skin. There's no doubt about that. And you hear all the stories about leadership and things like that. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait to hear you talk about your meeting with Cristobal and what he had to say about Cam Ward. Again, coming up at 4:45. Todd Furman next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, y'all? KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Dr. Kellum is the guy. Ethan Kellum that you would sit down with and have your consultation with. 615-850-4415. When you're trying to find out just what your body and your cells and how they make that your solution, you control all of that. When you talk about sports, you talk about life, it's always being able to control exactly what you can control. Effort, attitude, and energy. Your body, your cells, your solution. How about that? They can all go right there and get that inflammation out of your body. So what's in your body that's attacking you, you have the antidote to get it out of you. Let it attack. That's your body's stem cells, and that's right, exactly what Kellum Stem Cell does. They harvest it and redeploy based on your needs. So wherever it is, in your ankle, your neck, your back, wherever, ankle, wrist, shoulder, like me, knee, they knock it right out. All you got to do is call and get your consultation today at 615-850-4415. That's KellumStemCellInstitute.com, getting inflammation out of your body.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph, who is giving us a detailed explanation as to how the show will be run tomorrow and Friday. Appreciate that, Zeph.
Very much so.
Todd Furman joins us now from Las Vegas. Todd, what's up? How are you?
Todd Furman.
I am doing well this Wednesday afternoon, ladies and gents. Hopefully you guys are as well.
Ready for the NFL draft, Todd. That's where we are. Change some of these storylines.
I think at this point the draft starts at pick 4. Barring some unforeseen surprise from picks 1 through 3, that's where things will start to get a little bit interesting. Should the Patriots elect to go with an offensive lineman and Will Campbell, or maybe a different direction to take the best player available if they don't have a true top 5 grade on the talented O-lineman out of LSU.
So let's start there. Cam Ward is minus 20,000 to go number 1 overall. For people that don't know what that means, what does that mean?
Means you have to put up a whole hell of a lot of money just to make $1 in return. But honestly, it's probably one of the safer bets that you're ever going to find. You know, kind of like betting Slay over 5.5 seconds when he runs the 40-yard dash.
That wouldn't be a smart bet because I'm going to get under that.
No, that'd be a tremendous bet.
I
mean, that would be a tremendous bet. Now, maybe if we're going 15-yard dash, Slay will go under 5.5. But my gut tells me you're still going to be a little bit slow out of the blocks.
You know what, Todd Father?
He can't even walk right now. Don't even let him.
It's rough on me. It's rough on me.
Don't let him fool you. You're right.
It's rough on me. I need my
You know what, Slay? Hey, here's the good
over.
thing. The silver lining for Slay, Don, is that Masters track, I think, is 50+ and right around the corner. So maybe that's where Slay needs to shift his focus.
There we go. There we go.
Maybe.
I like it.
Maybe not, Todd Father.
Well, he's currently working on his NBA
I got a
parlay going right now.
Yeah.
There was a 30% profit boost at FanDuel, so there we
30% of 0 is still 0.
And you know what? I lost on. I wish you would have texted me or something. I thought Tampa Bay was going to get a win yesterday, so I went heavy on Tampa Bay for some odd reason.
Well, every now and again you can reach out, and I'm more than happy to steer you in a direction or another. But that result was definitely surprising. Given the fact that, hold on a second. I mean, given the fact that Florida hadn't had their healthiest roster, but probably not a ringing endorsement for how the rest of that series is going to go. But that's what's so interesting, more so in the NHL than the NBA, where there's a little bit more parity. It is every bettor and fan's prerogative to overreact to one result, but sometimes you see some things that you can't unsee, and I would be pleasantly surprised if Tampa's able to battle back and level the playing field if this is a Florida team that's starting to regain some of the form that led them to the Stanley Cup a season ago.
Boy, it's go time in hockey, man, and Slay's diving in, man. I know my hockey. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I do. I'm leaning on that one.
Travis Hunter, the favorite to go number 2. As you mentioned, Abdul Carter, number 3 at minus 650. Shedeur Sanders is the second favorite at pick number 3 at plus 700. But his over-under of where he goes in the draft, his draft position is 21.5. Obviously, the Steelers sitting there at 21 is the option, right?
It's really shifted quite a bit. I mean, you had a prominent shop out here open up Shedeur Sanders over-under draft position at 8.5. Thinking that they didn't want to give you the opportunity to bet the Saints. Now, you did have to lay a substantial price to go over, but it's wild to see how some of these storylines and the draft projections change from when these odds originally get posted, albeit for low limits, to where we are now, roughly 24 hours before the draft, because Shedeur's over-under was originally set at 3.5. Be a nice ticket to be holding if you went over that particular number. I'd honestly feel more comfortable betting Shedeur not to be picked in the first round. The market, though, that I do think is fascinating is when you look at some of the prices out there for the team to select Shedeur Sanders, regardless of round. The Steelers, as you mentioned, Brett remain the favorite at a shade less than 2-1. Then it's followed by the Giants, the Browns, the Saints, and then you have a kind of a massive cliff to teams like the Rams and Raiders should he slip far enough into the second round.
So talking about quarterbacks, we discussed this yesterday. Like, what would we set? We hadn't looked, and what would we set the over/under quarterbacks in round 1? And we put it at 2.5, and then come to find out that's exactly what it is. What do you think about that?
That if you can find a price, anything plus $1.10 or better, that I think under 2 quarterbacks a much more likely outcome than 3 going in the first round. When you assess this overall talent crop at the quarterback position, nobody really seems to give any of these guys an elite grade. So after Cam Ward comes off the board number 1, it's a question of if these teams want to reach for a quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Shuck, or Jackson Dart, thinking that any of those guys can turn into the face of their franchise. I know a lot of people have Shedeur penciled into the Steelers, but it leaves me scratching my head a bit because the Steelers were here just a few short years ago and reached for Kenny Pickett then. That didn't quite work out the way they drew it up, and I think discretion is the better part of valor here, where these teams are going to have to sit it out. And, if these quarterbacks don't fall to you, then you maybe have to fold your tent and look towards next year, because you can't necessarily convince me that Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders are going to be slam dunks compared to maybe that second-tier quarterback with like a Kyle McCord out of Syracuse.
The other element to that 2.5 number that's interesting, and you just mentioned Jackson Dart, his draft position over-under is 25.5. So they actually have 3 quarterbacks in the first round with over-unders that are first-round grades. So that's interesting to me. You don't think Jackson Dart will be a first-round guy?
I don't think Dart goes in the first round either. I think Dart probably more likely to be a first-round pick than Shedeur Sanders. But every year that these draft odds continue to gain momentum and popularity, quarterbacks are always the overvalued commodities that are here. Last year, probably the outlier where Bo Nix over-under for draft position, kind of hung out in the high 20s, low 30s, and we saw that Denver Broncos fell in love with them and clearly drafted him higher than most people anticipated. But it was only a few years ago when it was Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral. I mean, Malik Willis's over-under for draft position was in the teens. As Titans fans know, that's not exactly where he came off the board. But that's the one thing that makes the draft and betting it a much different vehicle than when you're growing accustomed to betting an NFL game on a week-in, week-out basis or college football. It just takes one team to fall in love with a player that completely throws a wrench into all the subsequent dominoes. No greater illustration than the Atlanta Falcons coming out of nowhere last year, draft Michael Penix 8th overall.
Nobody knew that was coming, right?
No, that was one of the bigger surprises that was there. And honestly, as you go through some of these draft props, I know a lot of the national books have different numbers that are available. This is a draft that I'd be more confident trying to take some of those dart tosses outside of the top 3, hoping that you can land 1 or 2 long shots, and that can potentially build your entire portfolio. I mean, one that stood out to me, and I know the numbers come down a little bit, is looking at the Detroit Lions. Everyone's led to believe that they're probably going to bolster their offensive line, yet defensive lineman or edge is the overwhelming favorite in that minus $1.90 category. I think there's a possibility that if Malik Hairston or Will Johnson were available at pick 28, that the Lions could try and fortify their defensive backfield, knowing that they lost Carlton Davis, and a defensive back will pay you 10-1. You don't have to put up a whole heck of a lot, hoping that the Lions have fallen in love with a prospect that could potentially fall in their lap.
So, still hanging in there with the quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe over under 38.5. Have you taken a look at that? What do you think about that?
For me, I lean over on Milroe, but I think when you get to the top of the second round, that's where a lot of these guys start to get that much more intriguing, because if a player is going to be there and available on day 2, you may have teams that are running to try and figure out what they can offer up to be able to pick in the top 2 or 3 for the first couple picks on Friday. Milroe's a guy that I think may have a higher ceiling than even a Cam Ward. Do I think the floor is as defined? Absolutely not, as we saw in the bowl game against Michigan. But again, it's the one thing we've seen with a lot of these NFL teams. They don't believe they can teach athleticism and some of the mobility and some of the electric plays that we saw from Milroe while he was at Alabama. At the same time, I'm not always of the mindset that you can teach a quarterback that's not inherently accurate leading an offense to suddenly take that next step when the game moves that much faster. So for me, I'd be looking to go over 38.5 for Milroe.
Jacksonville at 5. Starting to hear Ashton Jeanty going to Jacksonville. He's the odds-on favorite to go number 5. Overall, which I know Titans fans, the thought of dealing with that running back twice a year is interesting, I guess. But what do you think about Jeanty, and do you think he goes 5 to Jacksonville?
If I'm a Titans fan, I'm ecstatic that the Jaguars are taking Ashton Jeanty, because that's a roster that has a hell of a lot more needs than trying to put another running back behind an offensive line that couldn't protect and flat out couldn't block for their ground game last year. And this is still an absolutely porous Jaguars defense. So I think, drafting a running back in the top 5 is a luxury if your roster is ready to compete. I don't think Jacksonville's in that spot right now, but I mean, this is an organization that loves to go rogue from time to time. And you mentioned the fact that Jeanty has moved into the odds-on role at minus $1.40-ish to go to Jacksonville. I'm still going to work under the mindset that that's a little bit of a smokescreen, that the Jags are trying to put that out there, hoping that a team that has fallen in love with Jeanty may come in with a deal and try and trade up to that particular spot. If anything, as I try and make a case for some teams further down the board, and we talked a little bit about long shots, I wouldn't rule out the Denver Broncos, right around 18-1 to be the team to select Ashton Genty. Just that they can be the group that may feel that they're an offensive playmaker or two away, and if they've truly fallen in love with a piece, knowing that they have a little bit of extra draft capital further on down the board, then maybe they look to trade up. So that would be a flyer I'd be willing to take on the Broncos in that 18-1 range.
One more, and then we'll switch to NBA playoffs, NHL, whatever you guys want to do. But one more, total number of wide receivers taken in the first round, 2.5.
I actually lean over at 2.5. I think when you try and figure out who those players can be, it doesn't give you a whole lot of wiggle room. But Matthew Golden, Teteroa McMillan out of Arizona, and I think the talented slot wide receiver out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, can slide into that first round as well. So I would lean over 2.5. We know this has become a premium position. We look at some of the contracts that are there, and if one of these teams has even something remotely close to a first-round grade, you can trade into that back half of the first round and make sure you get that extra year of control with the fifth-year option. So I would lean over 2.5 receivers, although I don't see any of that trio being game breakers. And if I was patient, might be more inclined to look at a guy like Jalen Noel out of Iowa State that I think you can plug and play that could have a potential for a higher ceiling than some of those others.
So when we're looking at basketball, NBA right now, anything changed as far as odds, the way OKC opened up and just thrashed their opponent, or the Boston Celtics? Or is that when you talk about guys getting to the finals?
Business as usual for Oklahoma City. We saw them lay a massive number, both games 1 and game 2, and exceed odds makers' expectations in both of those contests. A massive favorite yet again when the series will shift venues to Memphis tomorrow night, where they'll lay 8.5 against the Grizzlies team that just doesn't look like they have the ability to defend or the firepower to match this Thunder team offensively. So OKC would be smart to make quick work of the Grizzlies and move on to the next round. The biggest change that we've seen, not necessarily going to impact the title odds, would of course be with the Pistons and Knicks series, where the Knicks came in as right around a $4 favorite. They lose home court advantage, but still are a heavy favorite in this series at -$2. The problem for the Knicks right now, they don't appear to have any semblance of an answer defensively for Cade Cunningham. And let's see how things can change. We know that is going to be one of the more electric buildings for the Pistons to have a home playoff game. And there's a reason that number is hanging out right around a pick 'em. So you can make the case that the Pistons, if they didn't let opportunities slip through their fingers with that 21-0 run in game 1, they could be up 2-0. I actually think the Pistons offer a little bit of upside, not only in game 3, but also in this series. As far as the Celts, by the way, Slay, that you mentioned, the betting market telling us that Jason Tatum probably not going to go tonight, and it's why we've seen that number tick down from 12.5 where it opened down to 10.5, and a total that takes us back to yesteryear, 201.5, now down to 196.5.
Wow.
I don't know if we're going to get Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale walking through those doors anytime soon, but defense should rule the day tonight in Beantown.
One more for me. The Warriors and Rockets right now. Warriors able to steal game 1, but Houston's still a favorite.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where, odds makers are forcing you to kind of pay a premium for a team in a must-win type situation for the Rockets. We saw them close as a 1-point favorite in game 1 against Golden State, and that number has ballooned out to 4, actually opened at 3 and has been on the move. The bigger interesting storyline here is the total. Game 1, we saw it close 213, and as we know, that game didn't sniff. This total got as low as 203 before we're starting to see some over money coming in. And I think the big question that you have to ask if you want to make a case for laying the points here with the Rockets is, can they be as poor offensively as what we saw in game 1? It feels like this is a group that has to play like their college counterparts in the Houston Cougars. Throw the ball at the rim and go get it, because second chance opportunities seem to work a heck of a lot better than them running offensive sets with very limited weapons, at least in the half-court game.
So where's the buyback come with the point total at 203, you said?
Yeah, I mean, you start to see some over money enter at 203, and that's part of the reason why we're up to like 204.5, 205. Okay. I think this is all a mindset question for the Warriors. Are they complacent, flipping home court advantage against a team that hasn't been on a stage like this? Or do the Warriors want to potentially land a kill shot tonight and maybe have a chance to close it out in a sweep should they be able to win both of the first 2 games here? But I can't get to laying 4 with Houston, and I can't quite make a case for the Warriors, knowing that they give up so much in the rebounding department in a game like this.
So let me ask you this right here, Top 5. Let me go to my strength right here, hockey. You look. What was that little snickle and giggle about?
I mean, look, I'm listening. I'm sitting. Hold on a second. I'm going to grab the pen on my desk, and I'm going to write down all the wisdom that you're about to impart on me over the next 60 to 90 seconds.
So you're a smart guy. So let me go on to say, for one, I heard the dog barking in the background, so I take that as a sign, an omen to say, take the underdog. So, walking into this Montreal versus Washington game.
Very scientific.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Ovechkin was out there. He had to beat the marvelous Ovechkin that he was to kind of pull them out against Montreal. I'm thinking about taking them, Todd Father.
I got no issues backing the Canadiens as a dog in this spot. Game one, they looked overwhelmed, especially in the first 20 minutes. Needed Samuel Montembeault to kind of hold his own to keep them in that game. Erase that 2-0 deficit before they came up just short in overtime. You mentioned Ovi accounting for 2 of the Capitals' 3 goals. But this is still a Washington team that I think is a little bit vulnerable. Do I think Montreal has enough to win this series? No, I don't.
Right.
But it wouldn't shock me at all if Montreal is able to even up this series and at least push this thing a little bit more. So if I was looking at the trio of dogs on the board, would have no qualms whatsoever about backing Montreal tonight.
Montreal plus 146. Put 100 on it. Let's go.
All right, Slay. What about the other 2 NHL games tonight? Stars at Avalanche, Oilers at Kings. Where
this
you go?
right here can go any kind of way. I'm probably lean go towards Dallas on this one just because I like stars when they shine big and bright at night. And it's
just like you said, Slay, the scientific method that you're applying here.
And a song including Pee Wee Herman. That's amazing.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
In front of the Alamo, which you just were there.
You peeped that.
All right.
Now the other one is Kings. Kings are the ones that kind of tanker the oil and be able to pull and extract the oil, get all the money. So they're the king of the oil system. And I'm going to go Kings to go get this one right here against the Oilers.
Dawn, how do you deal with this on a day-to-day basis?
I just ignore it.
Yeah, you get one segment a week, Todd.
I know. I usually throw out the gambling problem. Call 1-800-889.
Smart. It should all be about hazard pay in the way that these things line up. But, Slay, when I look at Dallas, Colorado, I don't quite get to Colorado being this heavy a favorite in the game. That number will actually open in that minus $1.65 range, out to minus $1.90. But I do think that building is going to have a different kind of energy with Gabriel Landeskog potentially returning after a 3-year absence. And I don't think Colorado played all that well in the first 2 games. Dallas looked like a team that was desperate to try and even things up, squeaking out that 4-3 overtime win in game 2. So I think Colorado wins the game, but I'm not going to argue with somebody looking to try and take a price with Dallas, in that plus 165 range. And I'm even seeing some high plus 160s out there as well. Edmonton, LA, it's a series that I didn't have a strong opinion on coming into it. And I definitely found myself more confused after watching, what felt like 2 different hockey games unfold in game 1. LA building a 4-0 lead, and then the Oilers scoring at the end of the second period to cut it to a 3-goal deficit before they were able to erase that entire lead and make it a 5-5 game before the Kings won it with a flutter puck with under a minute to go. So this has been an interesting 2-way battle. You saw a little bit of Oilers money come in, a lot of guys that I respect hoping the number leaks down further to try and make a case for the Kings. But this is a game that I am much more intrigued to watch as a fan than to wager on, and I'm very curious to see if the Oilers can solidify things on the defensive side, because I think given what we saw in game 1, the Kings are much more capable of putting together a sustained defensive effort like we saw for the better part of 2 periods, and proving that third period was a little bit more an anomaly than the norm.
So I feel like you roll with me. Thank you, Todd Father.
Sure, take it however you will, Slay.
All right, what are you thinking about Talladega? Week off for the NASCAR guys last week. What do you think about Talladega?
And this is kind of a week off for me as well. Given the unpredictability of a plate track, it seems to be the great equalizer where NASCAR loves a little bit of chaos. But at this point, I think a lot of people will try and make cases for some of the long shots further down the board. If I had to get involved here, one of the drivers that I think has shown the most speed on a week-in, week-out basis and has been rather unlucky all season long, this is one of his better tracks. So I would look at Ryan Blaney. Not going to be able to hit a massive long shot, but in that price range of 10-1, 12-1-ish, if you're looking to have a little rooting interest, I think Ryan Blaney is going to be right in the mix on Sunday at Talladega.
Todd, we got a lot done this segment, man.
Thank you, Todd.
Good job.
Yep.
That's how we roll. We try and cover a lot of ground. And remember, I'm still not going to forgive you guys for not letting me know that Cam Ward was going to come off the board first overall when we had a chance to take plus 150 about 3 months ago before the Titans truly tipped their hands.
Well, if you would have listened to me, then you would have known.
Well, that's why. I mean, I'm going to go through my text messages and see what I got. Pretty sure I don't see, hey, look, wink, wink, nod, nod. You may want to try and focus on the quarterback out of Miami.
Great stuff, Todd. Appreciate you, man.
Always a pleasure, guys. Enjoy the games tonight and the draft tomorrow.
Thank you, Todd Furman.
Hey,
Todd
man.
Furman. Bet the Board podcast.
I'm telling y'all, man, listen, hockey is just, some people got it. I'm one of those.
Okay.
Shout out to my guy, Lil Train, Lil Juice, my little nephew out there listening to it in the car, man, coming from school. What's up, Juice?
Slay, you just tapped into your beautiful mind. That's what happened. You became very clairvoyant.
People got to put it
hockey.
together. This is
sometimes brilliance and genius comes in unsuspecting places and in ways.
And it ain't got to be beautiful.
Yeah,
like you just said.
NHL, huh?
What you think, Babs? You want to ride with me?
No. I'll just sit in the stands. Cheer you on. Go Slay.
Yeah.
Nashville's hockey expert, Ron Slay.
That's right, baby.
Ain't got no roof.
Yeah, there we go.
Mario Cristobal, Dawn pulled her notes from her conversation with him about Cam Ward prior to the game against Syracuse that she worked, and she'll share some of that with you next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Michael on YouTube, Slay with a deep analysis on his hockey picks. You're damn right, Michael. Come to us for the hockey expertise. If you're often feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out at Low T Center. They make it easy for you to get your levels checked. It's just that simple test. And with that test, their on-site lab, you'll get your results right there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and super important, their personal treatment plans are optimized for each patient. These are not just basic standard treatments. For current patients, Low T Center offering you a $150 referral credit for each new patient that you refer. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. So get back to being your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Montreal, huh? Montreal.
I can't do nothing but give the people what I know, man. And I appreciate you guys for accepting it. That's first and foremost.
My favorite hockey bet of this season was when you went with the CBJs.
Oh, my guys.
Because you didn't know they were the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, they're my guys right there.
The CBJs.
Yeah, I need to get them back rocking. I have to wait till next year, though.
You and Kirk Herbstreit rock with them.
Mm-hmm.
Herbie loves the CBJs.
Yeah. I mean, don't we all?
Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay, Nashville's premier hockey expert.
Come on, y'all. Let's get this money.
We need a billboard put up in downtown Nashville.
Parslays.
Of you with a bunch of cash, and it reads, Nashville's hockey expert, Ron Slay.
Hashtag Parslays don't come every day.
Those guys over at the Preds offices would be like, oh, my God.
Like we got.
Like Sean Henry's laughing his ass off right now.
He's giving us winners.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's doing no laughing right now.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, that was a tough year.
It's a rough year.
Yeah. See what happens in the offseason.
Rough year.
What did Todd say, that they were 22 points under their preseason over-under win point total?
Yeah, it was pretty
22.
bad.
I mean, that's
Significant.
significant is the exact word I was going to use.
Hey.
To be nice.
Great minds think alike. All right.
To be nice.
So, you worked the Syracuse-Miami game, last game of the season, huge game for Miami. They win. They're in the playoff. They don't win, but that was a good opportunity for you to kind of see from the sidelines what Cam Ward is, right? Like in really tough moments and dramatic situations and all these things.
Yeah,
but
and I've talked about it numerous times on this show.
Yes.
But we also, obviously meet with coaches and one-on-one settings, which is always, you guys know, I always talk about it. Like, I have the unbelievable opportunity to learn from the brightest, coaching minds in the country, which I'll never take for granted. But Mario Cristobal, you get him at the end of the year. Like, there's all the stories about Cam Ward have been told by this point. You know exactly what he is, right? So, you don't want to rehash questions that you're asking him kind of about his quarterback, because he's already answered all these all season long. So I went back. I always record my coaches' interviews just to kind of go back and hear them if I need to make sure to get something accurate. And I should have done this earlier, but I went back today and listened to his entire conversation with us to see what he said word for word about Cam. And so I'm just going to tell y'all basically, because my notes are one thing, to hear him say it again is another when you're looking at him as an NFL prospect all of a sudden.
Different parameters now.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when we asked about his competitive makeup, talking about Cam, this is what he said. It's the best of the best that I've been around from a competitive standpoint. Flat out.
This is a guy that he's had for 1 year.
1 year. And this is Mario Cristobal, who was at Miami for some of the greats.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember back in the day?
This is significant.
He was at Oregon, yes. He was with some of the absolute greats at Miami when they were the Miami that people think of,
Yeah, sorry to stop you, but I thought that was interesting.
Well, because some people maybe forget that Cristobal started, or that he was a part of those teams too, Yes, so best of the best he's been around from a competitive standpoint, flat out best of the best. Justin Herbert's, honestly, like the Ray Lewis's. Talking about competitiveness here. That's a heavy compliment right there, because we all know Ray Lewis was one of the most competitive people ever.
Maybe the most.
Correct.
Yeah.
He has that dog mentality with alpha qualities, backs it up with time invested, ability to garner the support of his teammates. He's a demanding SOB. He really is. But he demands as much or more from himself and wants to win like no other. This is the quote that I was kind of like, this resonates, because you get it. And it's going to go to Slay's reaction for what we played yesterday at the end of the show, which was Josh Pate talking about how Cam came in and was
dog cussing.
Right. He said dog cussing. I don't know about that. But anyway, he said the real good ones can be uncomfortable to be around. Sometimes because they're restless. They don't care about anything but winning. but he can quickly go to that likable, laughing teammate. But when it comes to competitiveness, he is that.
This is going to be so interesting to watch his development and to get to know him, and see how quickly this leadership thing.
Yeah.
'Cause you're talking about grown-ass men now.
The good ones sometimes make it uncomfortable to be around
That is so
because he
true,
demands
too.
the most out of you. But then, him talking about how much he demands from himself, that's what makes it okay. So to your, you kind of were like, oh, I don't know about that when we were talking about yesterday at the end of the show, but maybe he can get away with it because of what he demands from himself in that way.
It's a lot of people to deal with.
Yeah.
Basketball is a little bit different. Baseball,
is.
I would say the same. But football, when you got that many people, you got to have some people in alignment with you. And I guess with the brass, knowing that that's his temperament, it has to be welcome. But what comes along with that, though, you got to go get the guys that are accepting of that as well and can take constructive criticism and give it back.
Yeah.
So,
Almost like the other leaders of the team need to be in with you too.
yeah, like we all stepping this way.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be a conflict.
So the dynamic over there
But
that
is
he's walking
weeding
into.
out?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's weaning out, and it's also you got to be able to. My conversation with and my conversation with you, if we trying to lead to a goal, may not be the same.
That's
but I can get both of us there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think
You have to know how to. It's just like
There
a
you go.
boss. You've got to lead. You have to be a boss to me different than you would to Mayor. You know?
So professional football players over there that are starving to win, I think will be
Will love
accepting
him.
of
Go
a
with
guy like this. Like, hey, I'm asking a lot of y'all, but I'm asking a lot of myself too. And I'm here for you, and I'm here to win.
I think Savage said something good on his show this morning when they were on their show on RKW when he was asked what he thought about that. And when it comes to rookies, a lot of times with rookies, you're supposed to be stepping into a situation and seen, not heard necessarily. The first question that I got that I think kind of not put a black mark on me, but made the eyebrows be raised, and I never forget it. Bill Cartwright, when I was in my interview with the Chicago Bulls, asked me, man, if we got a veteran on the team and you see him not doing something correctly, are you going to say something to him? Or are you just going to be like, hey, man, that's a vet, and you let him go? The answer that
That's
he wanted.
a great question.
Yeah, the
too.
answer that he wanted was, nah, man, I'm a rookie. I'll just let him go do his thing. The answer I gave was, hell yeah, if he keep on doing it day by day, yeah, I'm going to say something. If I'm out here busting my tail, why would I let him, just because he's a vet, do what he want to do?
You know what sucks about that too is that he took it the other, like he wanted the other answer, but there are a lot of general managers that would have wanted that answer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's interesting.
Yep.
All right, 5 o'clock hour coming up. We'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right, huge announcement from Two Rivers Ford, and it's all about employee pricing for everyone. So what does that mean? It means you pay what they pay on almost every new Ford on the lot. And at Two Rivers Ford, what you see, always what you get. They don't do things like add expensive accessories or tack on services packages to increase the price of their vehicles. They're upfront, they're honest, and that is every single time from Two Rivers Ford. And now they are offering you employee pricing. No better time to buy American, no better dealership than my friends at Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned and operated over 40 years. And of course, you know they are home of the non-commissioned sales team. And now they're home of employee pricing for everyone. From America, for America. That's Two Rivers Ford. Give them a call. The South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. It is 5 o'clock. I'm Joe Spano live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. We are one day away from the Tennessee Titans drafting number 1 overall tomorrow in the 2025 NFL Draft. Yesterday, Titans brass met with the media, and they were asked if they knew who they were going to pick with tomorrow's number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, no, we've come to a consensus. The entire organization is to stay at that pick, and I guess you'll find out Thursday night who we pick.
In Tennessee basketball news, Tennessee will hold a Zoom meeting with 5-star guard Darius Adams in the coming days, according to Mike Wilson of the Knox News Sentinel. Adams is the number 23 prospect in the 24/7 Sports Composite and decommitted from UConn on April 19th. McNeese State wide receiver Jermichael Carter is visiting a pair of SEC teams, including Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Carter had 37 catches for 537 yards and 3 touchdowns with McNeese State in 2024. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Prince Orty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It's a little cloudy out there, Slay Dog, but we're alive and well.
We all right. We all right.
Ready to roll?
Yeah, we closer to the draft, so, I mean, it's good money, baby.
I mean, we have one more day to talk about the draft before it happens. One more day to talk about the Titans before Cam Ward is their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious about this draft in terms of Will Levis getting dealt.
You think he is?
I think they'll try for sure. And, yeah, I think he will, don't you? Because here's the thing. And I know, like, the local bias, we all saw the underhanded tosses and all these things. But I'm with y'all about, like, thinking about Will Levis's good attributes, like his competitiveness. He tries to do anything to win, which is not a good thing sometimes.
Right.
With the hero ball aspect. But I just think there are egos out there on the offensive coaching side of things that see the arm talent and think they can change him and might rather have him as the backup instead of like a mid-round rookie quarterback as the backup, because he does have a lot of starts under his belt.
Talking about Will Levis.
Mm-hmm. I think, they always say it just takes one team.
Right.
It just takes one guy thinking that. Like, I'd rather have this guy that started a lot of games. He's got NFL arm talent, tremendous arm talent. I can coach him up.
Yeah.
And I'd rather do that, have that as a backup option as opposed to some rookie quarterback that's never played before.
Yeah, I can lean in on that. You always want to be prepared, somewhat, regardless of whatever the resume is, but experience is – there is no substitute for that, and he does have that. So I can understand that. I also, I'm starting to believe more and more, like you and Babsy both continued saying throughout when the season ended, they came in saying they're going to build through the draft. So one thing that I think is of value is any pick that you can get, like coupling with something, and even if it's not with going to get a quarterback, like you couple it up to go get more draft picks or get a higher pick. If you can trade Will Levis to do that, I understand that, because you got two in there. What you're hoping for is Cam Ward makes it throughout the entire season, and you don't necessarily need a quarterback in the room with him with that type of experience that didn't have any success to go out there and teach him in the quarterback room. Like, I'm sure there's some things that he can get from Will Levis, but I'm also sure that Will Levis, while teaching, is thinking that, man, I ought to be having this spot.
So where does the value sit then? Like,
that's the question. Is
the value with Levis as your backup as opposed to Tim Boyle or Brandon Allen? Because that's the situation if you trade Levis. And if so, then what's the value for Levis? Like, at what point do you not take the deal? So if I offer you a 4th-round pick for Will Levis, you take it all day.
I'm jumping.
If I offer you a 5th-round pick for Will Levis, is that kind of the stop point?
Give me the little cash. Probably throw a little cash and then we might can do something.
Maybe another player.
I'm with that, but I can't go lower than 5th. I cannot go lower than 5th.
Right.
6, what am I getting?
So 4th, definitely. 5th, you're thinking about it. 6 off the table.
Now, I will say, you got, and depend what 6 it is, too, because you got 178 and 188 with the 6th-round picks. You get another one, you could definitely move up and get a 5th, I would think, if you got rid of your 6. And then you would have 3.
I still think they
somehow got to go find and get a 3rd.
I mean, trade down from 35.
And get 2.
Unless somebody's there that you're like, oh, no, this guy starts day 1, we need him, let's go.
And what you saying, get a late 2nd and an early 3rd?
So,
or just.
Yeah, what was the scenario somebody put out there? Move down from, maybe it was Wyatt. No. We've had so many people on talking about the draft. Maybe it was Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports. You move from 35 to what did he say, 54 or something, and you would pick up a 3rd-round pick and maybe something else.
Mm-hmm. I ain't messed up with that.
Unless somebody you covet is there at 35, then you take it.
Then it ain't no choice. You got to go take him.
The hope is that Todd's right. There are only 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round. And so the hope is you go overnight Thursday thinking about Friday with kind of a passel of quarterbacks that are still there.
Yeah.
Because at that point, then the pick becomes even more attractive.
That's true.
At 35.
Yeah. I'm kind of like Detillier. Man, at some point, I want to know exactly what happened with Luther Burden. Because for some reason,
we asked Mike Detillier, draft expert from New Orleans, about players today, and he was like, I don't know what Luther Burden did, but that guy.
Everybody can see the talent.
Yeah, he can take a 5-yard pass in the NFL and go 55 for a touchdown. He's that guy.
That's saying a lot right there.
If you want to go re-listen to that, it is up on YouTube and where you get your podcasts at 104.5 The Zone on YouTube.
Or if you missed it. Slay Dog is here, y'all.
I'm in the building.
Ah.
Playoff time.
It is playoff time. Boy, the Grizzlies, man. I turned them on for a minute last night. There was a lot of standing around going on.
Dog.
Almost like they're content mentally that they know what's going to happen.
This don't even look like the Grizzlies. And I know they had to battle to get to this point and everything, but this is, and you know what? The other part of it is this how good OKC is too.
They're so good.
They
That's the one
have
NBA
no
bet
weakness.
I made was for them to win it.
Yeah, that ain't no bad bet.
Yeah.
I think Boston will give them the run for the money, but dude, OKC, every spot, they got something.
You know where I am with Chet Holmgren too? I cannot look at that guy and get that stupid commercial out of my head where he looked so
they got a new one.
Yeah, and he looks just as uncomfortable in that one too.
I hated this.
I know you did.
I hate this. Your rant doesn't.
He looks so uncomfortable in those commercials. And every time I look at him, man, he's just long and skinny as hell.
He is.
And just uncomfortable, but the man can play.
Dog, look how much they gained by getting him back, letting him.
Yeah.
You had the luxury to let him rest and get healthy and not have to rush him back. And, man, he out here 20 and 11, stretching the floor. They got a really good team, man. Led by SGA. Sheesh.
And if you haven't watched NBA basketball, if you just want to check them out, they're a fun team to watch.
Yes, they are.
Even if you're the guy that I don't like NBA anymore and all that stuff, they're a fun team to watch.
No, the style and everything. This is a fun brand of basketball. They guard. That's the other part. They defend on a rope. They defend. So
that's why ultimately that's why Memphis looks lost. It's the way that they're being defended.
Yep. Yeah, the one-on-one plays stuff, that ain't going.
615-737-1045. Thad next up on 3HL talking about the draft. Thad, what's up?
Hey, guys.
What up, Thad?
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right on. I never trust my earbuds here. I just wanted to call in, man. I'm out here in Clarksville about to go fix a guy's fridge. When I heard Slay talking about Bill Cartwright, I was like, well, I know who that is. And it reminded me of, I can't remember the channel. I think it was WGN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, WGN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where it was nothing but Cubs games and Bulls games and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I tell you, I'm so thankful for that. I got to watch Jordan and Longley and all them. And whenever you play the intro for Ron Slay, at the beginning of that always gives me chills.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did the same thing because the Cubs games were always on when I got home from school because they were playing the day. And so, man, I loved Leon Durham and Gary Matthews and of course, Sandberg and all those guys, man. That was,
Ryan Sandberg, that was my dude.
Gary Matthews actually sang the 7-day stretch last night.
Right on.
The Cubs came back and won.
But no, man, I just wanted to call in. Like I said, Slade kind of piqued my interest, and I know we're getting ready for the draft. I just wanted to call in to say, number one, I miss you guys. I'm driving all over hell and half acre. I don't know if I can say that on the radio.
Cool.
But I'm ready for the draft, and ultimately, it's Titans above all. If Cam Ward is the guy, Cam Ward is him, just like I did in Rusty We Trusty, Jake Locker, VY, doesn't matter. Let's go.
There we go.
Love it, Thad. Go get that guy's refrigerator fixed because that sucks to not have a fridge, man.
And it's getting hot outside.
Yeah.
It was
87
degrees.
Oh, yeah. Hey, love y'all. Later.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
615-737-1045. But back then, what he's saying about WGN and TBS was the same way, right? We didn't have access to every game no matter what.
We didn't.
So back then, like I said, I'd come home. I just loved sports so much. I wasn't necessarily a huge Cubs guy back then, but I would watch those teams and players would stay on teams for longer, and so you would kind of romanticize that and get to know them on some level. But the Bulls were the same thing, man, and that was Michael Jordan's era.
That was it.
And they were every game was on every night.
Yes, they were. You didn't start getting a little mixed until the NBA playoffs came on. You get the Lakers and the Pistons and things of that nature. Yeah, but absolutely, yo.
Cartwright, man.
Billy.
I always thought that he was going to injure his elbows just by the way he shot the ball because he would hold it so far over the top of his head.
Extension. Long extension.
He didn't bring it from his shoulder.
No, no, he didn't. One thing about it, too, that Bill Cartwright was going to throw them hands, too. He was an enforcer. That guy, he ain't play no games. When he got Bill Cartwright, they got him for. See, that's what I'm talking about too. Like the knowledge of the game. That was the other part. I can't. When we get an opportunity to talk to Cam Ward, it's got to be.
Why are you laughing so hard?
Ross's little voice came in with break.
Right.
Yeah, you might need to say that on air. I like that when you do that, Ross.
Do it on air.
Yeah. It was in mid.
What do you want me to do?
Say break on air.
Break.
Yeah.
And
Slay dog. The funny thing about Cartwright, though, with Jordan and all those weapons,
yeah,
we were talking about this during the break. Those Cartwright teams, man, they went first possession through him every time.
Inside presence.
Wanted him involved, too, you know?
Got to keep the big man happy, especially in the game then. Now it ain't about keeping the big man happy. They just let him run up the court, do conditioning drills during the game. Never get a big man the ball, man.
By the way, did you see Shaq the other night? He had to leave the set live on air because he had to go number 2.
Pay the water bill. No, he had to pay the water bill.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He just got up. He's running in front of the camera, in front of the table. He's like, y'all keep talking.
Like Shaq, you're 7'1". We see
Shaq kind of sounds like Ross.
He does. They do got the same voice a little bit. So do.
And they showed Shaq go into the bathroom and close the door.
Yeah. Pedro Martinez brought him a little emergency bucket last night.
Oh, did he?
In a little gift bag. So you can use this now instead of going to the bathroom. Up under the desk.
Well, Pedro Martinez. You want to talk about a dog?
A different animal.
You hit one of his players?
He got.
I just saw. I just saw a little documentary on Pedro, and he was talking about. He was like, "I'm gonna hit this guy."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's my job to protect my players," and he's like, "But they were trying to talk him out of it, sort of like the coach, the manager." He was like, "Yeah, but you're gonna get tossed. Like it's gonna be obvious." He's like, "I don't care. That's what happens."
No, why? It don't matter. It's Pedro sticking up for his guys. I ain't mad at him.
And as a matter of fact, he asked, which guy do you want me to hit? He asked the guy on his team that got hit. He said, which guy do you want me to hit?
Yeah, who wants somebody?
And he said, because I'm telling you right now, I'm hitting Soriano or whoever it is. And then you pick the second one.
Gotta love a guy like Pedro.
All right, more 3HL. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Let's ramp this thing up. We're here until 6 o'clock talking about the draft. 3HL. Oh, man. Slay's going to talk about PAI Medical in just a second. But Ferguson Home. FergusonHome.com. 3HL is presented by Ferguson Home. Check them out online, FergusonHome.com. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home where it all comes together. They've got locations all over the place. The new location in Mount Juliet, we went there last week, and absolutely beautiful showroom. They can, you need to see it, and they can help you out with your home. South Mount Juliet Road, they are in Providence Marketplace. Also, Powell Avenue in Nashville, New Salem Road, Murfreesboro, Clarksville, West Dunbar Cave Road, and Bowling Green on Lovers Lane. Hinkley Lighting, absolutely beautiful. Inspiring radiance in 2025. With exceptional lighting and ceiling fan products that are superior in design and quality. For those contractors, interior designers, and multiple project managers, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home. Stop into the showroom and see and feel what you're looking for before installing. Ferguson Home has the largest selection of products and the top brands to help you finish with a finished product that your client will love. FergusonHome.com. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com.
What's happening, good people? PAI Medical, this is where you need to head over to. You want to look good, feel fresh, and feel better about yourself? Well, that all starts with what's going on up top. Yeah, fuller and thicker hair. You go past You go past the mirror, and you look in the mirror, and you're like, oh, man, what's going on? I got a little sunroof opening up. Well, if you do, this is the opportunity to get it done. Get it taken care of, man. We grow hair. They'll grow your hair back, and it will be the biggest confidence booster ever. You can do this. Call them right now at 615-376-6010. 615-376-6010 is the number to get you a free consultation right now. No one else in Tennessee has the ARTIS robotic FUE procedure, and we grow hairs, high-density hair transplants that give you 2 times more hair in one procedure, and fast 45-minute laser and PRP treatments for men and women, backed by the only company that you will trust with thinning hair. Call them right now, 615-376-6010. That is WeGrowHair.com. Get you a free consultation right now.
3HL 1045, the Zone, Brent Doherty. Ron Slay with you. Dawn Davenport is doing a UFL game this weekend, and she is monitoring a coach's conference call right now. That is where she is. Slay Dog is here.
Yes.
Ross running the board.
What up, Ross?
How's it going?
He said, how's it going?
People at home, Ross isn't trying to do that with his voice.
There is a new man in charge for the moment.
Get yourself out of there. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I kicked him to the curb.
Zeph and his gold chain that his wife got him.
I like his chain. Alyssa, great job. Good pick on the chain for Zeph.
Yes.
Like
you can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Twitch, please.
Oh, come on. If you're going to be delayed, Ross, just let me go again.
He didn't know. That's my bad.
Oh, yeah, come on. No, Ross does know. Ross listens to the show.
No, they don't tell me these things. Joseph doesn't tell me these things.
Yeah, but he didn't know that he's supposed to do it when Dawn's on.
Okay, I got you.
Twitch, please, like for real.
like for real. Slay, you find so much humor in Ross.
Hey, Ross crazy, man.
615-737-1045. Steve by the lake. It's been a minute, Steve.
Wow.
What is going on, brother?
What do you say, guys?
What's up, Steve?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm in the building.
There go my guy.
What's happening at the lake, man?
Not a daggum thing. Actually, we're clouding up out here in the west, so we're fixing to get rain. I think we got 3 more days of it.
Okay.
All right.
But now I got one thing to say for you guys.
Okay.
When it comes to our first round pick, it's Cam Shack
I couldn't find it, Steve.
Ward.
He wanted me to cue up a song for him there, but I couldn't find it in our system.
I wanted him to hit shut where he says, "You're a bad mother. Shut your mouth."
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Cameron Ward. Are you good with the pick there, Cameron Ward?
Yes, I am.
I am too.
100%.
All right, Steve. Well, it's good to hear from you, brother.
You too, and I appreciate you. I listen to you every day.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, man.
See you guys.
Appreciate you, buddy. My God, Steve. We ain't heard from Steve in a minute.
Steve on the lake has a real solid I'm in the building. It just brings a smile to my face.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's like he made it his own.
Yeah.
And I'm with that.
615-737-1045. Eric in Franklin. Eric, what's going on?
Hey, this is a story about Cartwright that you're talking about, and you might enjoy.
All right.
I grew up in Chicago, loved the Bulls, and then I moved to San Francisco at some point, was running a motor coach company there. So the Bulls were coming to town, and so I made sure we got that contract, and part of the deal was I was going to go with them. And then I think they played Sacramento, but they had a 2-day layover in San Francisco. So I was able to go to all their practices.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really a fun time, but most people don't realize, Cartwright was a big, big deal. I believe the Dons won the NCAA championship. So they were practicing over at USF. And when we pulled up, the whole team goes in, and he's got a big old statue in the lobby, or used to at least. The Pop's still there. They're all kind of making fun of him, giving him a hard time. And after that, they walk into the gymnasium, because it really is like a glorified high school gym. It's not very big. And Michael Jordan was at the center of the court. He was on his knees. And when the team got in there, he put his arms up to the ceiling and he said, "This is the house that Bill Cartwright built." And it might hold 3,000 people, and that whole team busted up. And it was a really funny experience watching them play and giving each other a hard time and still, playing together.
Yeah, that shows the closeness, and those teams were that. Man, what a great experience. I appreciate you sharing, Eric.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, bud. 615-737-1045. Keith in Nashville. Keith, what's up?
Yeah, Memphis lost that Golden State game probably because of Zach Edey. I think it was a playing game.
That just shows how stupid that pick is to pick him at 9.
He actually has been much better than I thought he would be so far.
He's been solid for him.
Been solid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but
I'll ride with that though.
What an unbelievable call today.
I'm still scarred by it too, dog. I'm with you.
Yeah, and then I forgot the second one. Oh, they could have paid Nico like this year and then just cut him loose the following year. I think that's what I'd probably.
Well, Chris Lowe's piece, and he basically told us the other day that he was leaving no matter what. Like that's what he learned about the situation. So there was a lot more going on there than what we knew in the moment, but it was just irreparable. Right. So thank you, brother. Appreciate it. 615-737-1045. I didn't anticipate a Zach Edey blast today.
Hey, man, listen. If you're out there for it, come on with it. We're gladly accepting it.
Doesn't he get in foul trouble all the time now in the NBA?
Yeah, but I
haven't watched closely.
They use him. I mean, he's used perfect for them.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm going to be honest.
He's not like a high-minute guy?
About 20. I say to him about 26, 27 minutes.
But that'll keep him from fouling out.
Yeah.
But I noticed he fouled out a couple times early in the season, and everybody was like, he never fouled out at Purdue.
Hey, man, you want a squirrel moment?
Yeah, always. I'm always here for that.
Duke Miles committed to Texas A&M.
Oh,
from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Supposed to be
he was
Tennessee.
Looking at Tennessee.
Yeah, dang.
Going back to that Nico thing real quick.
Wait, I thought Ross was producing.
Yeah, he's
taking,
no, he's taking a phone call.
I'm glad he can take phone calls.
He's doing that right. We never talked about the Madden situation with Arkansas, which is just insane. And did you guys see what came out today?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas is asking for $200,000.
Yeah, Hunter Yurachek actually made a comment yesterday about that, but the dollar figure wasn't out there. But, yeah.
What do you think Sam Pittman's thinking?
He literally opened his mic for all of that just to run that clip. I love it. Good setup there. I was wondering.
Sam Pittman just needs a nice old cold beer.
Somebody. Mike says Ross is Scooby-Doo on steroids.
He's got a little bit of it, him and Shaggy.
And Shaq.
That's a heck of a combo.
Big combination, man. Put that in a test tube, see what you get.
Oh, boy.
615-737-1045. Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Greg in Mississippi. Greg, what's up?
Hey, 2 quick points, Mayor and Parsley.
Yes, sir.
You remember Judkins, the running back? I want to talk running backs at Ole Miss now. It worked out for him.
Quinshon Judkins, yeah.
Quinshon.
Yep.
He wanted a raise from Ole Miss, and Ole Miss didn't give him a raise, so he goes to Ohio State, gets less carries, and wins the national championship. And then it's probably going to be, a third-round pick. I'm just comparing that to Nico. Get your thoughts on that. That's kind of the
somewhere
opposite.
in there. Well, it's tough with running backs, though. But so that situation at Ole Miss, the way I understood it was that, or how I was told, they had so much money wrapped up in quarterbacks that they were not going to pay the running back. And so that's why he ended up at Ohio State. It wasn't because he couldn't play or they didn't want him, but there were some economic issues.
Right, but that may have made the difference in those games they lost of them getting in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
He was coming out 1,500-yard season. My other quick point I want to ask you guys, since the NFL schedule will be coming out in a couple of weeks, wouldn't you think the Brable Bowl would be a great opener for the Titans? Patriots at Titans week 1, or maybe a Thursday night game? Get your thoughts on that. Enjoyed you guys listening to you here in Mississippi. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, brother, for tapping in, man.
I have no idea.
That's all.
I didn't thought about it.
I ain't looked that far, man. I've been so caught up on what's a roster is going to look like. I'm still waiting on that part before we even dive in, because on that elevator, I ain't trying to get dropped all the way, brother.
Back to the elevator.
It's always going to be back.
Can you imagine, like, if an apartment building had an elevator like that? You just, yeah, I mean, I guess you didn't know?
No, I wouldn't want that, you. I wouldn't stay there.
Yeah, but maybe you got a friend in the building.
Yeah, they need to get out of there.
Meet at a restaurant or something.
Immediately.
Jibo59, weird, Mayor. Yeah, that was weird.
Yes.
I don't know what goes on in my head sometimes.
Yeah, we just here.
Jibo59 also says Connect barely plays now. Yeah, I mean, it's playoffs time.
Yeah, that's always going to get shrunk down. Like, to be a rookie getting major minutes in the playoffs is not. That don't happen a lot.
No matter how good you
because those are the good teams that are playing in the playoffs. Like, they got a roster already.
615-737-1045. Larissa next up on 3HL. Larissa, what's up?
Hi, you guys. And I cannot. Best station. I'm going to keep plugging it that way. And not the elevator drop. Really?
Serious.
Yeah, he went on a tangent earlier in the show where he was describing his fandom and being dropped like the Tower of Terror. So that's
I swear, you guys make my heart smile. But we got draft day.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the best draft day ever. I mean, again, I will stand by it. Music and sports bring people together. And I love the station. And I keep laughing because, again, you guys make my heart smile and people's hearts smile. Because you guys ain't got no sense, okay? You know what I mean?
Yes,
right.
indeed.
So with that said, what are you guys thinking about tomorrow? And I have to say, things may not go the way everyone thinks. I'm going to hang up and listen.
Well, that was a weird way to end it, Larissa, but no, Cameron Ward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Cameron Ward. I would be, like, beyond shocked.
Joseph Bonanno just sent us a story.
What Nano seeing?
Notre Dame transfer quarterback Steve Angeli has officially signed with Syracuse, meaning whoever thought this would be the Tennessee-Syracuse quarterback matchup. Joey Aguilar against Steve Angeli.
Man.
Week 1.
Here we go.
In Atlanta.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Let's love, baby. Tennessee was a pretty big favorite in that game before all this quarterback stuff happened. You go back and look. They were like a 14-point favorite, maybe 18-point favorite.
You know what I'm liking?
What are you liking, Slay?
Out of all this,
elevators that go one floor at a time.
There you go, and down to one floor at a time. My guy Ballin Ali that called in, and he, when I was asking somebody in the chat, it had nothing to even do with Ballin Ali, whether Vanderbilt would get more wins than Tennessee, and he went on and persisted to bet me $500.
That Vanderbilt would get more wins than Tennessee.
So now that we have a quarterback now, or at least a quarterback challenge, I appreciate the $500 donated to the Ron Slay Foundation. Ballin' Ali. Appreciate you, brother.
Just the Ron Slay Foundation run through the boom boom room.
Absolutely.
By the way, if we get Cameron Ward on Friday, he's going to the boom boom room.
You got to go in the boom boom room.
I would think, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Tennessee is a 12.5-point favorite over Syracuse right now.
Huh. That's it.
12.5.
Well, Bully, you should have fun with this one. At least we'll have fun after the game, Bully.
I'm betting before also.
Absolutely. That'll be great too.
You want some other lines while I'm here?
Yeah, if you're there.
Auburn against Baylor. Auburn by 1.5.
Where's that game at? I wonder.
I don't know.
Probably neutral site though.
LSU, a 2.5-point underdog against Clemson. I don't know where any of these games are. I'm not on that page. Well, this one is in Columbus. Texas, a 3.5-point underdog at Ohio State.
Yeah, man. What does Ohio State got coming? Ohio
Jeremiah
State.
Smith.
Oh, they got an animal coming back. I forgot.
Yeah,
a T-Rex.
Alabama, 11.5 over Florida State. That one's in Tallahassee. I know that one.
Florida State. Just a fall from grace.
Nico and the UCLA Bruins against Utah.
I wanted to come south.
UCLA, a 1.5-point underdog at home.
At home. Let me go up, man. I need to find UCLA schedule. Do they come anywhere down south?
They do return to Ohio State.
Oh,
the
Lord.
Horseshoe.
Are you kidding?
I swear.
Nico gets to go back there?
That is going to be great. Yeah, that ought to be good.
Are you rooting for him or rooting for failure?
No, I'm not rooting for failure, but I'm rooting for chaos.
So
that's the perfect way to answer it. That's exactly where
in that Chris Lowe piece that you referenced earlier, I think it had in there where he had to take a mental break after that Ohio State beatdown of Tennessee, which is what it was. So having to go back in there, going to be interesting to see how he responds.
Yeah, he might need another break after this one.
Might need a lot of breaks. UCLA's bad, man. They just are.
They are. It is what it is.
I mean,
it is what it is.
I can't tell you. It's like clear blue skies and sunny sky, and it's cloudy. Like, I can't tell you when it's cloudy.
Where did they play UCLA at last year? Or is UCLA, are they in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Remember, Deshaun Foster made a big deal about that.
That's right. So this is Chip Kelly's get back again. Every time we get to see them.
What did he say at Big Ten Media Days? Like, I know y'all don't know us because we haven't been in the Big Ten for very long, but we're in L.A. With USC, which all the UCLA people were like, why'd you mention them? Like, this is our time up here.
We play football. Downtown Los Angeles.
615-737-1045. Eric in Nashville next up. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys, I didn't know if you had heard about this. One of the wildest trade rumors that came out a couple of days ago, and Adam Schefter debunked this, and they said the bleeder was started in New England, was that the Philadelphia Eagles were trying to move up and that they were going to move up the fourth pick and trade their first-round draft pick and A.J. Brown to the Patriots to see if they couldn't draft Abdul Carter. Number one, I don't know if Abdul Carter would be available, but I'd heard rumors that they were interested in him. And I'll say this, but Eagles are known for making moves like that, because they usually move off the players either by cutting them or trade them before their value goes down. I don't think they're going to do that, but I will say this. It would not surprise me within the next 2 or 3 years if they move off A.J. Brown, because they're known for making moves like that. But it's just going to be interesting to see what they do tomorrow, because Howard Rosen, you got to give him props, whether you like the Eagles or not. He's known for being smart for doing that. Just want to get your thoughts on that. Guys, it's always good to talk to you. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Eric. Good to hear from you. Yeah, I can't remember where I saw that. It was some guy talking loudly on the internet. Like, I remember that part of it. But it just seemed so wild that I didn't bring it up.
I mean, if they were to move on, it would be because, I mean, would it be 28, 29 to 30 by that time? Like, of course. They got a young franchise guy in Devontae Smith that they're going to lean into.
Yep.
It'll be time for him to get paid again.
So UCLA was better last year than I thought they were.
What were they last year?
They were 5-7.
Oh, they were balling. This man.
Here's their schedule this year. You ready? This is what Nico's got. That Utah game is a neutral site game. So they're 1.5-point underdog against Utah. Kevin Dyson's smiling right now. Then UCLA at UNLV, New Mexico, at Northwestern, and then here you go. Penn State at home, at Michigan State, Maryland, at Indiana, Nebraska, at Ohio State, Washington, at USC.
Does it say what the date is on that Ohio State game?
It is November 15th.
That won't be too cold.
I don't know.
It get kind of chilly up there, won't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
What if Manning Iamaleava beats out Nico for the starting quarterback position?
I love to see that happen. Boy, I love to see that happen. Big Nick.
Manning Iamaleava?
Yeah.
Madden,
yeah, Manning. I was thinking about Texas and Ohio State.
Yeah, Madden.
Yes, Madden. Thank you, Rob.
All right, look, Madden. You just got kind of grouped into this one. Being a little bro on this one, man.
He had no choice either.
Sorry about that.
You know that.
Nope, it had to roll.
615-737-1045. More of your phone calls next. NFL Draft Eve. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned. These are your guys, man. That pre-owned inventory is phenomenal. Check it out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. Employee pricing going on in April. They'll indicate to you all of the deals they have going on in the month of April right there online at GuptonMotors.com. The inventory is there, as I said, dealership information, address, phone number, all that stuff. Right there, GuptonMotors.com. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Just hit them up. Tell Daniel Gupton and his crew what you're looking for, whether you need more space, better gas mileage, maybe something more cost-effective. Whatever your needs are, they'll point you in the right direction. Go take that test drive. Go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Again, the best vehicle buying experience that you will have ever had. These guys are great. I've bought multiple vehicles from them. They're awesome people. Their service department after the point of sale is incredible. They will constantly update you in terms of needing an oil change, tires rotated, quick text message, and they'll get you set up. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
What's happening, y'all? Listen, the car accidents happen. We know that. Big truck accidents happen. We know that as well. But one thing that you may not be up on is the Cairo scammers. You probably wondering, like, what is that, Slay? Well, I got an important message for all the good friends out there that rock with BDIL. That is Bart Durham Injury Law. Some lawyers chase ambulances. Not the ones, I'm not talking about the lawyers that are dogs on Paw Patrol or nothing like that. But I'm talking about the ones that are out there that'll do anything to get your attention. Not Blair Durham and his team. That's not what they do. If someone calls you after a wreck, they're breaking the law. That's right. There are lawyers out there breaking the law, and you need to be aware of them. Blair and the team at Bart Durham Injury Law, they don't play those types of games. When you make the call, they answer. They're local, trusted, and ready to fight for you. No gimmicks. Just a team that's on your side from the start. So, if you or someone you love is ever in a wreck, remember Blair's number, 615-242-9000, 615-242-9000. Local, trusted, ready to fight for you. told me. So, man, I've been doing music since I was damn 16. That's him. So it's Dan Huff.
It's Dan? Or David? Is it Dan? Is his brother Dan? Oh, my mic was on. My bad. I'll turn my mic on, Ross. I got you. We were talking about a songwriter that Slay met last night.
Yeah, my guy, man.
We were just rolling.
He's my guy now.
Mr. Huff.
Yeah, Dan Huff, I think. It's definitely one of the Huffs.
The Huff brothers.
The Huff brothers, man.
Shout out to the Huff brothers.
Shout out to David and Dan. But Dan is one I think.
Yo, if you know the Huff brothers, tell them what's up.
Yeah. Yes.
615-737-1045. Jael on YouTube. UT should be focusing on that Syracuse game. This is about to be a way more difficult game now that you don't have a legit quarterback on the team. Jael. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not concentrating on Syracuse at all.
Yeah. Zero Syracuse.
Now, Slay can say all he wants, especially when Bully's sitting right next to him.
Why would they pay attention to Syracuse, Jael? Just tell us the reason why. I'm sure you got something to come up with. Oh, yeah. Jael was the one back down on that on my Houston, Florida bet during the season. During that championship game, just knew Houston was going to beat Florida. And then my guy usually don't go crickets on me. He went crickets on me. Threw a nice little bet out there for him. He didn't want no parts of it. That's the thing I'm telling y'all. When y'all feel so confident, all y'all got to do is say, Big Slay, I want to come your way. And the Slay is welcoming arms open to any of you guys. We already got one on deck, Ballin' Ali. He got a nice little $500 bet for Vanderbilt to be having more wins than Tennessee.
Here's the thing. Maybe that was an investment by Ballin' Ali to have his name mentioned on 3HL.
Well, that was a good
so
one.
Many times.
Well, that was a good one because you're going to be throughout the entire football season. I can promise you that one. I can guarantee you that one. Even if you back out, you're going to get your name mentioned. So, until you take the sleigh ride down. Traylon Burks will be back in effect, so y'all be able to have that one on me. Y'all can hold on to that one tight because I will not relinquish the Traylon Burks trade.
The Traylon Burks trade?
Yeah. I know people want him traded, but he ain't going nowhere. Nobody want him.
Except for you.
Except me. That's right. Yay. That's right. Good job. Ross, was that you or Zeph that did that?
That was Zeph.
Oh, come on, Ross. You should have took credit for that one, man.
No.
That was a great time.
All about being fair back here.
Yeah. I love the Ice Cube drop.
Yay. That's Big Savage. Big Savage will run with that one, too.
Big Savage will join us tomorrow, as a matter
He
of fact.
will. We got a lot of people joining us tomorrow.
Yeah, I just talked to Rhett Bryan. He will hop in from 3 until 4 o'clock, executive producer of Titans Radio. Also at 4:20, Greg Cosell breaking down Cam Ward and the top of the draft. 5 o'clock, Thomas Dimitrov, former NFL GM, now with Sumer Sports. And 5:20, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster.
Yeah.
Coming up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
In advance of the draft. 615-737-1045 is the number. Rodney is in Antioch. Rodney, what up?
Man, you got it. I got to give you a West Side salute, too, because about a month ago, you used the term bullet, and you used it correctly. So, big West Side salute to you, Fred.
You got to be a real Nashvilleian. You got to be a real Nashvilleian to know that term, baby.
Exactly. I was like, oh, my goodness. You got the West Side salute to that.
So for people that don't know what that means, that was what we used to call, like Slave says, getting fried. Mm-hmm. That's what we used to say back in the day.
It has a whole connotation to it. I can't even get anybody in trouble by expounding.
No need to.
Yeah, good point there.
Exactly.
I love the laugh, Rodney, man. That's really fun.
You too, Slay, because I saw those wings on Twitter. I saw Chef Ball Slay cooking on Twitter, y'all. Y'all better check him out. And y'all making a big mistake by not putting food in the program a little more because we love how Slay cooks.
That's right. Talk to him, baby.
What were you cooking on Twitter?
Man, little wings, little salmon on there. You know what I mean?
Salmon, huh?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Salmon. We got a comment for Nico. Got a little.
Oh, damn, Rodney, we lost you, man.
Rodney, you must be going across Mississippi. Get on back over.
I'm trying to get back to CC, baby. I'm trying to get back to CC. Can you hear me?
There you go. He back. There you go.
There we go. Let's get on the Vols. Listen, y'all, I love the Vols. Always gonna love them. But, man, listen, we got to stop being cheap. we missed our shot with Nico. This was a national championship window. Y'all saw we were just a little bit away. We missed our shot. We got to stop being cheap. That was going to cost us about $2 million. Now, Slay, if you look at the war chest, can we afford $2 million?
You know what? I'm gonna say yeah, we can. But you got to understand, man. A little bit of it got issued out. It seemed like over there in basketball. So
I get it. I get it.
Maybe some more coming too.
Yeah.
At the same time, nobody's bigger than the team. I get all of that. But that was a national.
Dang, Rodney, man, we're losing you too much. Thank you for the phone call
up.
and the props.
He was right there. He was right there trying to fight through it, but it was hard. It was rough to fight on.
You want Jael's latest?
What?
Burks is a jinx. Team been on a decline ever since he came around.
Yeah. So they have with Caleb Farley and Isaiah Wilson, and shall we go on? Dennis Daly and
You can stop it, Isaiah.
Okay,
Wilson.
all right. just saying. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. Easy peasy.
To be this cheesy.
You know what I mean? Well, the one thing we ain't got to worry about, we got a Patrick Mahomes like coming in here now, baby. So
Cameron Ward.
That's going to raise the tide of all boats, baby.
NFL draft is coming up tomorrow.
Finally here, Euro.
Full coverage on 104.5 The Zone. Stay tuned. Lock it in and rip the knob off, as Babs likes to say.
Took us so long.
Wolfman Jack used to say that.
Took us so long to get here.
I get in, right? That was knob off.
We're back. Mortimer, we're back.
All right. We appreciate you guys for listening. Certainly, we appreciate you even more for including us in your day and your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take it lightly. Good night. God bless. See ya.
Wouldn't want to be ya unless you was getting a shout out. To the Huff Brothers, man. Salute to them, man. Ran across David or Dan, one of them. Hey, both of them in music, man. I salute both of you guys.